I don't know what that stuff was, but I had to do it. Today we have live coverage of the Chessable Masters semifinals between Magnus playing Ding and Nepo playing Giri. They didn't have any moves in the Ding. Okay, they started also. So this started about 2 minutes ago. Giri's white against Nepo. Giri won day 1, 3-1, and Magnus won 2.5, 1.5 day 1. This is day 2. So we have a semi-Taresh. Usually they trade everything. Bishop b4. Everybody trades everything. So white gets a big center, and black gets to trade all the pieces off. So both sides are happy. Rook d1 is not a move I'm familiar with. Normally they move their bishop out somewhere. Maybe rook d1's the main move. I don't know. Okay, he moved his bishop out somewhere. White's a little bit better. Obviously, white has a nice center, and black just gets his pieces out and tries to equalize. Ding Carlsen. Carlsen played the King's Indian. Again. Frankly, terrible. All right. And then h3 by Ding. That's a move. Bishop e2 is a move. What's not a move? And after h3, Magnus is thinking. Not his strong suit. See, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. All right, now it's all pretty. All right, so we're just underway. The games have been going on for about 3 minutes. Time controls 15 minutes with a 10-second increment. This is game 1 today. They're 4-game matches. Sometimes the matches last 3 games. Ding needs to win his match today, and Nepo needs to win his match. Otherwise, they're out. Everybody's been looking forward to a Giri Magnus final for some reason. So the bromance continues, even though I'm sure Ding and Nepo don't agree. Okay, d5. So the King's Indian's a bad opening, but since it's game in 15, it's less bad. So there you go. All right, and then Giri's playing solid and passive. Actually, no, Giri's white. So Nepo's playing solid and passive. Not his usual. I would expect this to be Nepo Giri, not Giri Nepo. Dominguez likes to play black in this line, as do many other players. Dr. Bojangles subscribed. Dr. Bojangles subscribe. I think that's how this song goes. It's Karen. All right. It's been 54 minutes since anyone subbed. Somebody subbed an hour before my stream started? Actually, I can check that. That's unusual, people subbing when I'm not streaming. Assuming Mubot is correct. Probably it's incorrect. Let's see. Recent events. Dr. Bojangles subscribed. James Law is subscribed. Hackett31 is subscribed. It doesn't say anybody subscribed an hour ago. I don't know. Maybe I can't read. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. 54 minutes, 14 seconds. Come on, Mubot. Hackett. Yeah, I already announced that. All right, hooray. Hooray for the... I have to refresh. I probably have a train now. I didn't know because I didn't refresh. Yeah, I do have a train. 33 viewers. That's less than I usually have. Hello. DLEG Volds 100 centidues. It's a train. Adriano for MVP subscribed. Mubot better than Stockfish. 104 viewers. The train's going. All right, and Giri played Queen E3. I think a lot of times they like their queen on f4, but okay, that's too far for Giri. All right, so white is clearly slightly better, and white is also clearly slightly better here. Okay. If you're crazy like a fox, like Georg Meyer, you would just say that black is lost. Georg Meyer, not a fan of the King's Indian for black. Not a fan. Etc. is correct. Good morning, Pam. That's close enough. That's almost how my name is spelled. You're stuck at 1,500 for 2 months. Oh, my God. If you can't get your ring up in 2 months, then I don't know. That's not very elite or something. Do a full recap, please. What? The games just started. There's the games. All right. So yesterday, Magnus won 2.5, 1.5 in suspicious fashion. The first game, he won because Ding disconnected in a drawn position. The next game, Magnus lost on purpose. The third game was rook and bishop versus rook, and Magnus hung his bishop. In the fourth game, Ding was squeezing, and ended up losing. So 4 very suspicious games. Hopefully we have 4 more. And Geary just outplayed Nepo the whole match yesterday. Nepo was lucky to lose 3-1. Could have lost more, frankly. All right, so Geary basically did nothing in his chess career for about 10 years, and then all of a sudden, last couple of tournaments, he's been somebody to deal with. So that's strange. But so Geary got better in 2020. Who would have thunk it? Everybody else got worse, but Geary got better. All right, Magnus has a terrible position because it's a King's Indian, but that's the way it goes. Black is very passive, bad bishop, less space, knight on the side. White's position's great, but it's a King's Indian. Eventually, Black escapes his terrible position and gets an attack, something like that. The truth hurts. Not sure why Magnus started playing the King's Indian. Ugh. All right, and then Nepo's playing like Geary, and Geary's playing like Nepo. So E5, rawr, no squares for you. And after H6, he decided to play knight here. He wants to trade bishops and put his knight on D6. And this gives away this square. So queen here threatens mate and trading the queens, which I guess is forced. Otherwise, White's going to do some stuff to Black. This knight's very bad. So queen G5, threatening mate, threatening here. If it wasn't threatening mate, F4 would be crushing, but that's not mate. So is Geary going to trade queens and go in the very, very, very slightly better endgame? Or will he play the correct move, queen H3, keeping the queens on and starting the attack? Okay. With Geary, he probably play queen takes queen, but queen H3, okay, he played queen H3, that's the best move. You want to keep the queens on because this queen can get harassed, right? And White has more space. White has attacking chances. In the endgame, this pawn could potentially be weak. But it's okay to have a weak pawn when you mate your opponent. That's okay. So queen h3 was correct. Geary's on fire this year. Man with a cat subscribed. All right, good. Raj subscribed. Keep the hype going. Yeah. All right, so Nepo's worse with Black. Magnus is worse with Black. That's the way it goes. Homer or Peter. Homer and Peter have both played chess on their various cartoons, but they're not. I mean, Homer was good at some point until he played Magnus. Xenoid won 400 centidues. Raj cheered 100 centidues. Go Raj. Raj wants those emotes. Bart played 3 games at once in the park. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Oh, that's right. Bart also played chess with Krusty's dad. Bart's played several games of chess. Even though after Bart played lots of chess, he still asked Lisa what the names of a pawn was. He wasn't sure. So, Chelsea B subscribed. Good. Do you think Magnus dossed him to win instead of draw? What's dossed mean? Cy Bradbury gifted 5 subs. I know what that means. All right, we're at level 5 already. Yeah, basically we need 80 subs a day for 30 days in a row. Then we're back to where we were. So I have to never stop streaming, and I have to stream twice a day, and I have to beg for subs. Because we went from 2,500 subs to 1,000. That's not easy to do. You have to work hard to do that. Most people, they go from 1,000 to 2,500. I do it the other way. Going from 1,000 to 2,500, anybody could do that. But going down, and you got to have talent to do that. So I'll try to stream the next 30 days twice a day and see if we can get back to where we once belong, Beatles style. All right, so Nepo's thinking, not his strong suit. C6, bishop b2, queen b6, rook b1. Put it in H. Now, you guys don't know this unless you know it and you've listened to me before. Chess engines hate the King's Indian. So if you play like 10 moves of theory, 12 moves of theory, 15 moves of theory, and there's 50 Grandmaster games, the engine says Black's lost. It hates the King's Indian. So it's hard to find novelties in the King's Indian for either side because the engine says everything's winning for White. So I don't know, it just doesn't like Black. Now I agree, when the players get really, really good, I don't like the King's Indian for Black either. However, players are under 2,000. King's Indian's probably good for black because black gets an attack and white's like, what? So, when you have to win, you play the King's Indian. Obviously, Magnus doesn't have to win the first game with black. So that's a strange opening, in my opinion. Okay, OMGW Wrong Hole subscribed. Where can you find my game analysis of PogChamps? On the internet. Pam gave 5 subs. Yay, we're level 5. You guys are the best. Let's see. Alpha Zero loves King's Indian. It love all chess positions. Well, all right. Okay, so like, for example, Stockfish now on depth 23 says white's up 1.5. I mean, obviously white's better here, but 1.5. If the players, if Magnus thought the engine was correct, he wouldn't be playing black here. But, Nakamura and Magnus and Radjabov and Fischer and Kasparov and Tal, they all played the King's Indian. They're like, yeah, whatever. I'll get some counterplay. Okay, now c5 is a very passive move, especially after c6. It's very strange to play c6 then c5. c5 is passive. c6 is more aggressive. Try to open the c6 then c5 is like passive and losing a tempo. So these kinds of positions, grandmasters generally hate with black. White has more space. White's going to get more space on the queen side. Not sure why the queen is here. And, white just has a big advantage. Also, Magnus has less time on his clock, so he's probably not happy if he's thinking several minutes and doesn't know what to do. And again, Magnus isn't playing the King's Indian every game. He sort of started this year. So if you're going to have these kind of block positions that are strategically complicated where white's better, it's good if you've played 1,000 King's Indians like Hikaru or Radjabov. Magnus, he's like, let's see, c6, c5, queen b6, queen d8. And the engine, without any material advantage, says white is 2 pawns up. Okay, which is ridiculous, obviously. White's, I wouldn't say white's winning here, just white has a great position. Now, why would Magnus, with the black pieces, get such a big time disadvantage and such a passive position? There's only one explanation. Greatest player ever. Burstcell1 gifted 5 subs. Thank you. You're the best. Until the next person gives 10 subs. Patrol19 subscribed. Good. And we're crushing level 5. Crushing it. Hikaru has a lot of amazing games in the King's Indian. Obviously, the Gelfand one. Another amazing game I could name dozens of amazing King's Indian games where black's winning, was the game Piquet versus Kasparov, where on move 31, Kasparov plays knight h1 with black and then resigns. That's one of my favorite King's Indian games. Yeah, Kasparov really gives him the smackdown. Okay, so white has more space in the center. White has more space on the queen side. All of black's pieces are very passive. So white has a big advantage. Now, even though the engine says, yay, white's doing great, the engine has no idea how to play. It just moves around in circles doing nothing. Maybe that is the right way to play. And it just says, yeah, white has more space everywhere. Black's pieces are all terrible, so white's better. Okay? But, black's going to get counterplay with f5 in like 10 moves and try to attack white's king. And white has to figure out how to break through over here. So it's not easy. In a rapid game, in a blitz game, in a bullet game, it's hard to play white because you have to keep the position under control and not give your opponent counterplay, which is a lot easier in a slow game. So in rapid, bullet, and blitz, the King's Indian, probably a good idea. Okay, what do we got over here? We got queen f4. That's one way to stop f4. That stops f4. All right, and then knight c4. He wants to play knight d6, obviously, and frankly. And he did. Hooray for Geary. He got knight d6 and bishop d5, obviously. And now there's no mate threat, so now he wants to trade queens. He wants to take with the pawn, kick the bishop out with e4, put pressure on f7, Papa John's. So what's happened the last few moves? The knight went here, the bishop went here. The problem with black's position is with the knight on d6, we control c8. So it's not easy for black to thwart white getting control of the c file. Okay, if they trade queens and white plays rook c1, trades rooks, rook c7, they can shake hands. Now they can't shake hands because they're playing on the internet and because of COVID. So they still can't shake hands. That's the only way Nepo's not going to lose is he can't shake hands. So that's good. Good for Nepo. Level 5, 18 subs, 600 bits. Good. 18 subs is good. You know, Magnus is the best player in the world, but Ding and Fabi are pretty good. And again, the definition of what the best player in the world is has been changing because of COVID. So when you say so-and-so is the best player in the world, do you mean over-the-board slow chess, which doesn't exist anymore? Or do you mean on the internet, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute chess, which is most of chess now? So if you mean over-the-board slow chess, then, you know, Magnus, Fabi, and Ding are really good. If you mean on the internet, blitz and bullet, Hikaru's stock goes way up, Fabi's stock goes down a little bit, Magnus stays about the same. Ding, I'm not so sure. In my opinion, and I'm not sure actually, Ding's probably better at over-the-board slow chess than on this internet stuff. It's close, but the Ding's really good at both, but, you know, COVID. So I don't know. It seems like Nepomniachtchi's really good at both. Grishuk's really good at both. So maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. Probably matters a little bit. Okay, Queen E3. Now, normally Nepo has a big time advantage, but he must not like his position. This knight's too good. Black doesn't have a lot of counterplay, etc. Mainly, etc. Plus tax. Can rapid blitz improve your classical? It could, but usually it doesn't. People play rapid and blitz because they like rapid and blitz. If you want to improve your slow chess with rapid and blitz, there's a way to do it that's usually not done, and that's to practice your opening repertoire. So let's say you've never played the King's Indian, and you want to play the King's Indian, right? So if you played in a slow game, you might get crushed. You're like, damn, I don't understand the King's Indian. So instead, you can play practice games in blitz and bullet and rapid, analyze them with an engine and your coach, play 100 practice games. Now when you play a slow game in the King's Indian, you have a lot of practice. I just read a quote on Twitter that I've seen 1,000 times in my life where Botvinnik said he never played blitz chess. He said he played once on a train in 1929. He says, I don't play blitz chess, but I would have been good at it. What is he, Hikaru? And, to some people between, 1900 and 2000, that century, whatever century that was, blitz chess didn't matter much. That was something you did for fun. And slow chess, that was chess. So if you were the best rapid player or the best blitz player or the best bullet player, that was cute, but it was meaningless, right? You can't tell me who the world champions or the best players in the world were between 1900 and 2000 in blitz, bullet, and rapid, but you can tell me in slow chess with the hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in prize money and millions of people watching those matches. Now, 'tis other way around English. Now maybe, I don't know, blitz and bullet and rapid are more important. I don't know. So if that's the case, it's the golden age of Nakamura. That's what he's got. He's in blitz, bullet, rapid on the internet. He's pretty good. Although Ding's pretty good. All right. Magnus seems to be good at everything. He's good at online, blindfold, real life, spinning in a circle. He's pretty good at simuls. All right. So I expect Queen H3, Queen F4, Queen E3, Queen G5, Geary. I'm kidding, but I'm only half kidding. Like if it wasn't Geary, that would be like 100% joke, right? 100%. With Geary, it's like 85% joke. That's not a joke either. The game could end Queen H3, Queen F4. The thing is, Geary knows he's much better. So so repeating is ridiculous, right? He's not only is he much better, he's 4.5 minutes out on the clock. So I'm almost being silly, almost. Yeah, 65% joke. Yeah, Carlsen's also rotating GM. That's right. Twirling towards freedom. Yeah, see, Ding would be the best player in the world, but he gets disconnected every other game. It's hard to keep 2,800 rating when that happens. All right, so let's see what happened with this bad position from Carlsen. His D pawn is attacked, so he defended it. Maybe he's the best player ever. Then rook e1. He wants to put something on f1. Nobody knows what. It could be a knight. It could be a bishop. And if black ever plays f5, he wants to, get his e-file against the queen there. Okay. So he played bishop h4 because his bishop was attacked. Good. Rook fc8. This is like my game with Ilya Nizhnik from the 2019 World Open. He also played a King's Indian. He got this kind of structure, and he put his rooks on c8 and a8. The engine said I was winning, and then I made 37 blunders in a row and lost. Or was it 38? Okay, bishop d3, making f5 all but impossible. Queen f8. Am I supposed to explain that move to you? It unpins the knight. All right. And knight f1, he wants to put his knight on e3 probably, and he does. So it's hard to play f5 because everything that white has is directed against you playing f5. If you don't play f5, you just got to sit there and take it. Black's just going to sit here and be like, I hope I don't lose. The queen's on his knight, so he can't really play g5 or f5. So he's going to play either bishop f6 or knight f4, I guess, because he can take that. 2 bishops. So it's a difficult position for black. This bishop on d3, knight on e3 reminds me of my game with Nick DeFermian from the 1999 U.S. Championship in Salt Lake City. If you ever want to try to make yourself believe that I was once a good player, if you're like, how could I make myself believe that? Instead of drugs and therapy and hypnosis, go to the internet and look at the game Feingold DeFermian, U.S. Championship, Salt Lake City, 1999. Don't look at another game, just that one. And then you'll be like, oh, Ben was a good player. And then, then you have to remember that game, otherwise you'll forget. Yeah, I took him to school that game. Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot to pick him up at school. It was 21 years ago. Man, he must be really smart by now if he's been in school for 21 years. Okay, so that game I did this and this and this and that. And then he resigned and cried like a grandmaster. Anyway, he didn't get to trade dark squared bishops against me. So that's good. Magnus did something. So he played bishop f6. They traded bishops. The knight went back to c3. And now Ding wants to trade these bishops, the white squared bishops. That stops black from attacking later. And it gets rid of this bishop behind this wall of pawns. So he played bishop c2. He wants to play bishop a4, trade pawns, have access to these squares with his knights, and eventually break through, break on through, break on through, break on through. Yeah. Hey, could somebody shut the doors? All right, so bishop c2, etc. Knight b8, Magnus setting up for the next game. Okay, so this doesn't look good, but, he's chilling. Maybe he likes Netflix. I don't know. Best GM with the first name Ben? Benjamin Bach, I guess. Oh, you asked if I was? No. No, Benjamin Bach is about 150 points better than me, at least. That's correct, Giants. The tournament wasn't good, but that was one of the best games. Okay, so Dante, he said b5, a4, a5 looks good, and it said it was held because it's too aggressive and sexual or something. What? Yeah, Muba, you got to take a chill pill or something. Was IM Feingold better than GM Feingold? Obviously, and frankly. Yeah. You can't find the game I beat DeFermian in the 1999 U.S. Championship? Why, you didn't search on Google for 5 seconds? You searched for 3 seconds? What are you talking about? What are you guys, the worst people ever? Oh, then I'll find it. Feingold, DeFermian, U.S. Champs, 1999. All right. Let's see. There's the game. I got like 50 times. Come on. How are you guys all the worst? There's an article about it. Oh, it's in a book. Winning the one game from the Albert Brilliancy Prizes by Danny Kopeck. Let's see. That's not my game. Where's my game? Oh, it's just like the whole U.S. Championship is in here, so my game is in there somewhere. Terrible. Round 7 of the preliminaries. No, it wasn't round 7. Let's see. Maurice Ashley, Wikipedia. Man, the game is hard to find. Terrible. Let's see. Chessgames.com. It should be in chessgames.com if it was played in 1999. Let's have a look. These games don't matter. Let's see. Feingold versus Doofus. Feingold versus Rufus. What about the triplet? I don't see a game with the triplet. 1992, 1993. I'm going to party like I beat DeFermi in 1999. U.S. Open, U.S. Champion. No, they don't have it in chessgames.com. Frankly, terrible. That game will never be found. Did anybody put a link to it yet? Looks like Raj did. Open link. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if it says I played well, because I did. Or it says you're the worst. Man, Raj found it. That's why Raj gets paid the big bucks. Yeah. Raj found it and linked it, and he already banned half of you. Yeah. Anyway, Yasser's said something like, I've never seen Nick get beat like that. Usually Nick plays for tricks, and he is tricky. It rolled him up. Yeah, he had no play ever. Frankly, terrible. Who's the lowest rated you lost to OPB in my life? Probably like 100 something would be my guess. The lowest rated player I've lost to USCF and or FIDE rated since I turned like 20 years old, it's the last 30 years, is a 1700 player at the St. Louis Chess Club. I used to play ladder games. You just go play a rated game with somebody. And in the 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years that I was in St. Louis, we'll say 7 years, I played about 200 ladder games. And my record was 1 loss, and I won every other game, so like 199-1. And I lost to a 1700, and a week after, Kasparov went up to me and said, oh, I heard you lost to so-and-so. And we were talking about the game. Because Rex printed the game out and showed it to him, and they discussed it. Yeah. Yeah, I hung a piece in a winning position. I was a piece up, and I was winning like a pawn, and I had a better position at +2, and I hung a piece. And then I lost like in 90 moves. That guy actually worked at the chess club. Terrible. It wasn't at a tournament. It was just a ladder game, like let's play a rated game. So it wasn't like a rated tournament with prizes. But rated tournament with prizes, I don't know what the answer to your question is. It's probably like 2,000 or something. All right. Now, in this position, did Magnus lose yet? Let's see. He played knight b8, king g7, defending his h-pawn for later. King h2, defending his h-pawn for later. Okay, Magnus had all he could stands. He can't stands no more. Magnus is like, I haven't been doing Vishwa nothing. I'm not even Anand. So he decided to do Vishwa something. Usually when you do nothing and then you decide to do something, doing something's wrong. Usually. Thing is, with Ding's piece configuration, Black just can't play f5. So Black just has to sit there and take it. And Magnus is like, all right, let's do something. Take. And a5. And b5 is a move, takes, rook a1. They're all okay. He played rook a1. The time situation is about the same. The engine said that white was up like 2, 1.5. Now it says white's only up 0.4. So it likes the way Magnus is playing. It says he should play knight a6 here, and he did. So he's trying to get some play over here for his pawn. It's a pawn sacrifice. And Ding's like, all right, I'll be a pawn up. Whatever. So white's up a pawn. Black has a beautiful knight. Black's not going to win his pawn back. But he's just like, that's your extra pawn, so what? Ridiculous. All right, so white's up a pawn. Black doesn't have a lot of compensation, but the knight on c5 is good. So white's better. Black's playing for a draw, etc. And let's see, Geary traded all the pieces off. Can't believe it. Takes, rook c1, takes. Bishop takes a2, makes sense. Bishop takes rook takes. Knight b8 is forced. Bishop b5, trapping the knight, Fischer style. Knight c6, take. And never play f3. All right. So obviously this knight is great. This rook is great. This pawn might become weak later. I've thwarted the bishop. My king has luft. Black has a passed pawn, which may or may not be good. f6, I don't like. I actually really don't like it. The thing is, you can't play rook b8 and queen your pawn because this pawn's hanging. But it turns out rook b8 is the best move. Sack the pawn and queen your pawn anyway. And after rook b8, the engine actually plays knight b5 and blocks the pawn. Okay, but he played f6, never do that. E takes f6. It's not clear which way he should take back because they're both bad. Rook takes obviously gives black the worst pawn structure ever, but g takes opens up the 7th rank for white's rook, makes it hard for black to move his king up. At the moment, the engine prefers rook takes, that's not a good pawn structure. Because of all the trading, though, that lends itself more that this will be a draw than a win, because there's almost nothing on the board. So white is obviously better, but it's probably more likely a draw than a win. Sort of like Magnus's game. Yeah, exactly. Who's lovable? Ding? I assume you mean Ding. Let's see. I mean, Mike Kummer's not lovable, so who are you guys talking about? No, it wasn't Julian. Jonathan Schranz, that's also not correct. Who can get his name? Go Archer. Go Archer? What? Let's see. Mike Kummer's lovable. Mike Kummer? You thinking of the wrong person? All right. 380 viewers to do. He did take with a rook. The engine agrees. Okay, knight c8. He wants to win this pawn, or he wants to check, take the bishop, and win that pawn. And the engine says we must get counterplay. Rook f4, and black is okay. And g4 is also okay, but rook f4 is better. And it says that black should draw the game now. It doesn't like knight c8. All right, and then Magnus sacrificed a pawn. Put his knight on c5, traded rooks, queen d8 again. He's played queen d8 a lot this game. Rook b8, never play f3. Okay, he's got that solid pawn structure. Solid. And knight h7. Magnus wants to come in on the dark squares. Queen h4, knight here, f5, rawr. Okay, and, the engine says white's up a pawn. It's hard for white to win because that's a good knight. And this bishop's not very good. One of the reasons he played f3 is he wants to play bishop a4 and trade his bishop and keep his e-pawn defended. But, it's hard to play bishop a4. So both sides have 4 minutes. White has an extra pawn. Black has good compensation. A draw is the most likely result. And a draw is the most likely result here. Nepomniachtchi played b5. Now, even though the engine likes white, Nepomniachtchi's definitely playing for a win. He's like, man, I'm going to queen that pawn. I'll show him. Nepomniachtchi hasn't won a game this match, so he'd like to win at least one game. And he has a time advantage, and his position went from much worse to slightly worse. So he's on the upswing. It's embarrassing if white plays for a draw here, since black has this horrible pawn structure. If white plays for a draw, he'll draw easily. He plays for a win, maybe he'll lose his d-pawn, maybe this pawn will promote, maybe his time will be bad. So Giri's torturing himself here. Playing for a draw is embarrassing, but if he plays for a win, that b-pawn could get good, his time could get low, he could lose his d-pawn, his knight could get trapped. There's so many negatives from Giri's point of view. If black plays b4 here, which is the best move, and white decides to take this pawn after rook b6, that pawn's pretty good. So you got to watch it. So b4 is the best move. g4 is the second best move. The game should be a draw, but either side could win because of the time situation. And after knight e2, played by Ding, defending his dark squares, queen h4, getting some, some kind of attack going, something. Rook a1. All right, so Ding is good at retreating. Rook here, knight here, rook here. And now Magnus can successfully play bishop takes h3, Shirov style. And after bishop h3, the engine says it's all zeros. And it gives some totally insane, nutty, ridiculous line. It also says knight g5 is about equal. So white's extra pawn is shallow and pedantic. Black has a good knight. Black has a good rook. Magnus is actually playing for a win, even though he's a pawn down. He's playing knight here. He wants to play knight h5. He wants to get an attack going. And he says, this bishop's no good, your pawn's no good. And then, since he fired Ifan and Botes from yesterday's debacle, he's since hired Linda Ronstadt. And Linda kept telling him over and over and over that Ding was no good. So we'll see if that works. Okay, Ding retreated, queen e1. So Ding played rook here retreating, knight here retreating, rook here retreating, queen here retreating. It's going to be hard to retreat more. He's going to do it, but it's going to be hard because the chessboard is... Okay. Now his knight's attacked. And instead of retreating his knight, his rook did the job of defending the queen. So now he played rook a3, stopping the knight from coming in ever, defending the knight. The queen has some squares. White's still up a pawn. The engine still likes white. And knight h5. Typical King's Indian. So black's down a pawn. Black has compensation. Both sides are getting very short on time. I think if two engines were playing, they would both want to have white. The engine's like, I want to have white. And then if two humans were playing, probably they want to have black. Because this is a good rook. This is a good knight. This is a good queen knight. This bishop is good. And white's pieces are all passive. So white's a pawn up. Black has good compensation. G3 is the engine move, keeping the knight out. Magnus played queen d8 again. Okay, he knows that h4 is coming. This queen has done its job, forcing the weaknesses. Time to go back over here. It should be a draw, because basically both sides should just chill and do nothing. But, you know, when they both have no time, somebody's going to do something. The engine likes white because white's up a pawn. All right, and they've gotten to a Geary-esque kind of drawn position where only white can win because white's up a pawn. He played bishop c4, knight d6, g4. They traded everything. Got to take on g4. Takes. All right, it's 3 against 2 on the same side. So obviously that should be a draw. But only Geary can play for a win because he's up a pawn. But this should be a drawn position. This shouldn't be that difficult even. All right, and then he retreated again. Queen a1, knight f6. Now Magnus is retreating. Those guys are really good at chess. They retreat every move. I like that. So Ding successfully thwarted Magnus's attack. Maybe in hindsight, Magnus should have played more aggressively when he had the chance. Bishop takes h3. Now he's down a pawn and suffering. On the other hand, over the last 6 moves, Magnus has played fairly quickly and Ding has not. So Ding's getting himself in a time situation. All right, and Ding played the most aggressive move, which when in time trouble usually is a bad idea, but the engine says it's good. This is why he played queen a1. He's putting pressure on e5 on the diagonal. He's trying to use his extra pawn. He stopped rook to b2. The knight can't go, so white's still up a pawn. White's playing aggressively. Probably should be a draw, but both sides don't have a lot of time on their clock. This game is less interesting, but it's a 2-result game. Rook e4, king e3, rook e1, and black's just going to chill. With 3 minutes for Nepo and 50 seconds for Anish, I think black should be able to hold the draw. Okay, Magnus is thinking forever. So Magnus's main idea to win this game, you have to have an idea of what your plan is make lots of moves, get the game to move 50 or 60, and hope at some point Ding's connection goes down and he loses on time. That's the formula for beating Ding. You have to imagine how you're going to win. If his internet goes down, I win. So if he does, though, then the next game is going to be really short. Magnus is going to lose in like 2 moves. Terrible. Magnus has played queen g8 a lot this game. That is true. Cheers from Saint-Gilles. Hello. All right, the engine doesn't like what white's doing. After queen e7, Ding was getting very worried about his e-pawn, and then some. So the engine wants to trade on e5 and then play knight c3, but he played knight c3 first, letting black take on f4 and open up the position favorably to attack the e-pawn. So after e takes f4, the engine actually prefers black. If white had traded on e5 and then played knight c3, black wouldn't have had that counterplay. Descap1 subscribed. Good. That's right. Magnus can play queen d8 later now. So Well, the good news for Ding is he's caught up on time. He's not down 2 minutes anymore. Bad news is after takes, and the king moves off the diagonal, then the engine actually prefers black. Not winning, just like, slightly. Again, the game should be a draw, but with both sides having no time, it's going to be blunder and disconnect city. Magnus hangs his queen. Ding disconnects. Both players resign. I don't know. All right, and these players are doing Vishwa nothing. Nothing's happening. And it should be a draw, but obviously white's better. White's up a pawn. But all the pawns pretty close together. Not many pawns on the board. Any kind of rook and pawn versus rook is a draw. Black's king has lots of good squares to move on up. So it should be a draw. Okay, and Magnus did not take advantage of the situation and play king h7, which is okay. It's still fine for... And Ding doesn't want that to happen, so he played f5. All right, so Ding thinks he's playing reverse checkers. Ridiculous. And this isn't a joke. The engine says queen d8's the best move. I'm not kidding. Go queen d8. I mean, all the moves are the same. Nothing's happening. But queen d8. He played king g7. Terrible. Now he can play f4 and claim a draw. The same. I guess he can't do that. So this is all blocked. Nobody can really break through. Both sides have no time. So a draw is unlikely. But I think if this was a slow game, a draw would be likely. Rook a7 is good. He probably will play queen d8 now. Because, you don't want your bishop pinned. It'll be like the 5th time he played queen d8. Good. Oh, g5, blocking it up on the bubble up. Now after knight here, it says white has a big advantage because white can play knight c7, knight e6. Probably Magnus overlooked that. So knight b5 is better for white. And it's easy move to overlook because this pawn's hanging. So Ding's probably not going to play knight b5 because that involves virtually sacrificing your pawn, which the engine does not take that pawn. It says the knight's too good coming in here. Okay, he played king g2. He wants to play king f3. Queen d8 again. Good. Both sides have no time. So I think the result is going to happen because somebody's going to make a huge blunder. I don't know which side, but yeah, king f3 defending the pawn. The game should be a draw. It's all blocked up. Nobody can really do anything of note. But when both sides have 1 minute left, it's time to blunder. So somebody's got to blunder. In this game, nothing happens. I'm going back. I have to go back a lot because they made a lot of moves. Okay, he played rook here, attacking the pawn. Rook check. Rook back. King up. Check. Back. All right, and the engine says this is nothing. Just completely equal. I mean, white's better. White's up a pawn. He's going to keep checking him and force the king, back here. If the king starts running away to escape the checks, then the rook can go to the 3rd rank here and attack this pawn. And rook h2's that's no good. So it should just be a draw. And who's going to blunder first this game? He played queen c1. He wants to come here. Queen b6. Magnus wants to go to d8 again. And queen d8 is a move. Engine says he played rook g8, trying to defend the pawn this way. Sort of giving up on his rook, doing anything here. Now the engine likes white again, but, it should just be a draw. Queen d2 is fine. Both sides have about a minute. White's still up a pawn. Neither side can do very much. It should be a draw, but I'm guessing that it won't be. Somebody's got to blunder. It's really hard to play 2800 level, 20, 30 moves in a row in this position when you're making a move every 10 seconds. So it's easy to make a big mistake. He played queen d8 again. So this is the real queen d8 game. He's played queen d8 at least 5 or 6 times. Rook g1 was played. The players started to play on the king side now. The king side might just get blocked up like it is now. The engine actually wants to take that, but that seems really dangerous. Yeah, he played g4. The engine wanted to take that h-pawn and open it up. See, the problem for black is he has to stop queen g5 check forever, and he has to stop the rook from infiltrating, has to stop the knight. So white's just better. White's a pawn up. And white has more avenues to get in, I think. Black doesn't really have anything to do here. If black made a lot of moves in a row, king g7, king h7, I don't know. So white's better, should be a draw, but obviously anything could happen. Okay, queen a5, preparing to play queen d8 again. Got to play queen d8 as much as possible. And has anything happened in this game? Rook check, rook check. All right, he's trying to win, but trying is the first step to failure. So it's a drawn ending, but white's trying. Move your king in, somehow win, I don't know. Somehow get in there. Like king here, rook here, take that. Some kind of winning trick that doesn't work. All right, after queen a5, he played knight d1, defense. Knight f2, defending his pawn again. He doesn't want the knight on e3 because he wants to be able to come in here. So that means Magnus is defending that. Then he can use these pieces and try to come in over here. But there's nowhere really to go. Knight b5. The engine just says do nothing for both sides and it's a draw. Both sides move around doing nothing. There's even some repetitions that it's giving, like with the queen on b4, queen a2, rook here, king, moving the rook and queen back and forth. All right, so it's all zeros and so forth, mainly and so forth. If queen g5, we can take on b5, and white's king isn't really well placed for that. It's also equal, it says, so he might do it. So probably 2 draws this round, but I said probably. In this position, Giri could win if Nepomniachtchi makes a mistake. And either side could win the Ding Carlsen game. It should be a draw. But it's just so blocked up and nobody can really achieve anything. And both sides have no time, so I could easily see somebody making a blunder here. Looks like white is in more peril to blunder because black has more things that are possible to capture that Ding has to be careful of, and Ding doesn't really have any time, so he can't really be that careful. Okay, so this is equal, but I think black is the one fighting for a win here. Okay, he played here. He's got pressure here. Queen b4 is the correct move. Eventually, if black doesn't do anything for 20 moves, b-pawn's going to be tough. So probably they're going to repeat now. Some kind of repetition. Magnus can't really afford to let this pawn be too serious. So probably they're going to repeat unless Ding goes crazy and decides, I'm winning, I'm not going to take the draw. Then he could get in trouble because exposed king and pawns could be captured. So the engine thinks a draw here is fair. And looks like that's what's happening with both sides having no time. He could still play for a win. He could play queen b2. He could play rook b2. With the time as it is, probably a draw is a better idea. Pretty well played game. Probably Magnus was slightly better for most of it, but then he held. All right, this is just completely drawn. So we're going to see 2 draws, it looks like. Did this game end yet? All right, Magnus plays for the win, it looks like. Well, actually, in this position, rook b2's playing for the win. So he played for the win with rook b2 instead of queen b2. And now queen a2 would have been a draw, and he played here. So both sides playing for a win. Rook b2 is playing for a win, and queen a7 is playing for a win. All right. Now, it's still equal, but, again, anybody could blunder. White could win by getting his pawn up the board. Black could win by tricking white tactically, and then white's king is too exposed. Sometimes queen g5 is good. But the engine says it's equal. And this is the most equal. This is completely drawn 2 versus 1. Now the king and pawn endings are usually drawn. For example, after rook e3, I could just take it and then play king here, and that would be a draw. So even some of the king and pawn endings are drawn. All right, he wants to go here, but wanting it and doing it are different. Even if he goes here, he's not winning. Yeah, because he can just check on the A file forever. Yeah, it's just completely drawn position. All right, and here all 3 results will happen. Okay, Magnus traded on d3. Queen takes is the only good move. Check. King f1's the only good move. And now queen b3 just is an incredible blunder, and he lost the game. Unbelievable. That's like a beginner's blunder. What's funny is I was reading about this particular blunder, which I've done myself, the winning side, not the losing side. In Stuart Rachel's book that you can, Nightbot talks about it sometimes. Stuart was like, in one of the games I was just reading on like page 100, I was in time trouble and I thought about playing queen b3, but then I realized rook e1 check wins. Or no, it was queen d3 and rook it was the same trick. This is just a ridiculous move. Yeah. So in this position, knight d1 is equal, it says, and otherwise black's better. So Magnus played for the win because he has the, he's going to play rook c2 now. And knight d1 is a draw according to the engine. And the idea is actually after rook c2, we play rook a1 and we perpetual the queen. Okay. And instead, or we trade queens and that's a draw. But instead he played this ridiculous blunder and didn't see rook c1 check, which is, I mean, this is just a puzzle rush, like easy one. So, and then he resigned. If you take the rook, you lose your queen. If you don't take the rook, your rook is hanging. Queen takes rook. So he just lost in one move. And now Magnus is better here. The engine says knight d1 is equal, but it's still better for black as far as like a human is concerned, because this pawn isn't as dangerous as black's potential attacking chances on e4 in the 7th rank. So after knight d1, even though the engine says it's equal, it still would have been a tough defense for Ding. So Ding, instead of playing queen b2 and drawing immediately, played rook b2 and lost in like 5 moves, which he's done stuff like that before. But I mean, missing rook c1 is ridiculous. That's just easy trap. So in this position, they were repeating to a well-played draw, I might add. And then instead of playing queen b2 and drawing, he played rook b2. Queen b2, queen a4 would have been a draw. And instead, this is also a draw, but it's better for black. And then he hung his queen. Terrible. And this game ended in a draw, obviously, and frankly. All right, and they agreed to a draw. So Giri Nepo draw. Ding Carlson should have been a draw until Ding hung his queen on move 66. You'll get your kicks hanging your queen on move 66. Yeah, queen b3, double question mark, rook c1 resigns. Now, let's say he played the engine move, knight d1. That's a hard move to find because you're letting the queen come in, And then let's say you play the normal human move, which is probably not the best move. See, now you don't take with check. That's why knight d1. So queen takes is a draw, and queen c4 is a draw also. And then it says like every move is like a draw, but I guess knight f2 is the best. All right, and then this is equal. But yeah, queen b3 is a ridiculous move. If you're not going to hang your queen and you don't see knight d1, you should play rook e1, defending the pawn, rook e2, king g2, queen defends the pawn. Queen b3 is just ridiculous not to see rook c1 check. Come on. I already told the story like a week or two ago about my game with Noel Hendrickson. Noel? Not Noel. What's his name? Is it Noel? No. Is it Hendrickson? I was sitting next to Andrew Tang, and he hung his queen the same way, and Tang started laughing before I made the winning move. Yeah. Let's see. GM No Chance Ever gifted a sub to GM No Chance Ever Jr. All right, your son thanks you, I guess, if that's the case. Yeah. Who am I thinking of? The guy who hung his queen. Not Noel Hendrickson. I'm making that up. What's his name? Jimi Hendrix? I don't know about that. Wait, who's better than me? Benjamin Bach? Jimi Hendrix? Something. Rover Hendrix? Damn. Noel Edmonds? Suspicious. All right, so Magnus wins in suspicious fashion, and Giri Nepo escapes with a draw after being worse the whole game. God damn. That was good defense. Yeah, I mean, that's tactics 101. You see that a lot in GM play. You just see this rook check. You see it all the time. It's funny when the move before the rook to the back rank is the opponent putting their queen, allowing it when it wasn't a threat. That's which happened here. That's usually the case. You know, white makes a move allowing it and then resigns. It's very common. Yeah, who did I play? Noel Hendrickson? I don't think that's his name. But whatever his name is, yeah, I like doing that trick because then when you do it, you win. So when I did it, my opponent had two rooks on the first rank, so he moved his king, and then when I traded queens here, then I took his other rook. That trick always works. Yeah, it was terrible. I look much younger when getting a haircut. I haven't had a haircut in 4 months. So, do you mean I look older now? Is that what you mean? Where's the game I lost to what's his name? I want to show you that. Blankenau. Feingold Blankenau. I don't know what year it was. It was a long time ago. It was like 30 years ago. Feingold Blankenau. I'll just type in chess. I have the game in my database, I guess. God, there's a website, Mike Blankenau Play Daily Chess. It has my game with him. Ugh. Terrible. Let's see, is there a way I can PGN it? Okay, there it is. I want to show you a really complicated version of this blunder that I made. The one that I'm showing you. Let's see. We'll do analysis board. So I fell for this trick, but it was like a million. Whoa. What happened? Okay, I have to get rid of all this nonsense. Delete. Okay. All right. Can you guys see? Does it look normal to you? Okay. So, okay, this is the key position here. Bam. All right. So this game was played before you were born. This game's at least 30 years old, at least. And I'm white and I'm plus 10. Okay. And I was like, rook takes d5 wins, bishop takes d5 wins. And I actually changed my mind. Rook takes d5 was my intention. But I was like, okay, this wins slightly more material. After that, I'm actually worse. Okay, takes. I thought the game was over. Right? And it's the same trick that Ding just did, but it's more complicated. Okay, unfortunately. Yeah, horrible. Yeah. Yeah, he played rook e1 check. Now, of course, if I play rook takes d5 in this position, like he can resign. My queen's on f5, so there's no trick. The tricks are gone. Ugh. Yeah, and this just says he resigns. It says I'm plus 13. And instead I was like, this wins, and I played a bad move, and I missed rook e1 check. And now, in this position, it's not like I'm losing a ton of material, but at the end of it, my pieces are all hanging. So I still lose my knight, so I'm just dead lost. Yeah. Yeah, when he played rook e1 check, the truth hurts. Still hurts. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So rook takes d5 is like plus 1,000. Bishop takes d5, I'm worse. And then I blunder the next move, missing rook e1. Darn. And the truth hurts. And I resigned. Sad. All right. Well, not as sad as Ding, but close. All right. Next round, Rufus and Doofus. Okay, Carlson's white against Ding. Nepo's white against Geary. Then they'll start in a few minutes. Or they'll start now. I don't know. It's after 11. All right, they started now. They waited till I showed my Blankenau loss. What's funny is the game with Blankenau was in the New York Times. The New York Times, when they had a chess column, only printed games I lost. They're like, haha. Although they did print a game I beat Pavel Blatny before you were born in the 2002 World Open, where I tied for first. But yeah, usually they printed the games I lost. There was a Vikanze chess festival, Tata Steel, but before Tata Steel. And I won the Brilliancy Prize for the whole festival, and they showed a game that I lost in the New York Times. Man, harsh. That's why they got rid of the chess column. Okay, Magnus played knight f3. Ding has disconnected, and Magnus wins. Okay, next game. They haven't started yet because they both disconnected. Man, harsh. Knight f3, no. What, knight f3 in both games? Ridiculous. Okay, Nepo's playing the ever-popular knight f3, then e3. Very suspicious. And Magnus versus Ding. Seems more traditional lines. Oh, I thought Ding hung a piece. Then he played knight c6, x-clam. Good job. Intentional concession. Well, he learned it from Yifan, so there you go. Gotta learn something. All right, so he forces knight c6, queen c2. Very passive play by Magnus. Very suspicious. Frankly, terrible. And what do we have here? Nothing yet. And plenty of it. Man, bishop d2, bishop e2. This is like the Scholastic tournaments where I analyze the kids' games, the beginner section. Queen here, bishop here, bishop here. Greatest player ever. Ballpark, frankly, is delicious. Visit to Michigan was good. Bet Carlson will drop his queen today. I'll take that bet. All right, let's see what Twitter has to say about this, missing rook c1 check. Peter Svidler said, any kind of generalization is generally not great. Good, good. Magnus is richly rewarded for rejecting a draw by repetition. Let's see. The game went queen a4, queen b4, queen a2, queen b2, queen a4, queen b4, queen a2. And then Ding rejected the repetition with rook b2, not Magnus. So that's not what happened. They don't really frame it right. I'm going to correct it. Ding rejected the draw, not Magnus. Yeah, the Chess24 always likes to frame things like Magnus is the greatest player ever. I mean, they were repeating. He probably could have claimed a draw with queen b2 and played rook b2. Richly rewarded by rejecting a draw. It's like they don't even watch the game. Ugh. All right, use a flip phone. That is correct. Always repeat. Ding was punished for rejecting the draw. Basically, yeah. Ding was punished because he hung his queen. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Nazis. All right, good Twitter, good Twitter. Trump's still the president somehow? Damn. All right, back to whatever it is I was doing. So Magnus playing Ding. Ding takes on c4, knight b4. Shouldn't Magnus play queen d1 and then queen d1 and then queen d1? Oh, that's the last game. Never mind. All right, so Magnus keeping an eye on e4. That's why he played queen b1. Obviously, his rook on a1 is not very happy, but all right. And white is clearly slightly better. And what's going on in Nepomniachtchi's game with Geary? White's playing the Alejandro Ramirez opening. He likes to play this with white. Well, he usually doesn't allow d4. I think he does. All right, and we're fresh out of theory. And I don't know. This position doesn't make any sense. I guess that's good for Nepomniachtchi if the game doesn't make any sense. The engine likes white. Obviously, black's d4 is, a little aggressive considering he's black and behind the development and he's pushing forward in the center, etc. I live in Greece. Can I get your merch? Certainly. Go to the merch store and buy it. It's a Karen question. All right, Carlson thinking forever, or he's disconnected. I don't know, whichever's funnier. So 2 unusual positions to start. Any plans for a Saturday 10-minute tournament soon? No, we have no plans. There are no plans. All we do is commentary on the Super GM tournaments and watch them hang their queen, disconnect, and lose on purpose. That's all we do here. All right, Nepomniachtchi thinking forever, and Magnus thinking forever. And as you guys like to say, but the clocks have stopped. That's right, accept friend requests. I did that already, right? Let's see, Ding is playing catch-up in game 2. I wonder if he knows about Mama Tomato, Papa Tomato, Baby Tomato. Sounds like Karen. It's either Karen or Thunder. Could be either one. If Karen starts typing here, then it's probably Thunder. Ifan started with 2 losses against Mamadzada of Azerbaijan. I wonder if that's Mamadyrov's sister. I think it is. I can't prove it, but I think it is. Papa John's. Go, gift him a sub. Well, Ding hung his queen. I wonder why nobody's moving in either game. That's not good when nobody's moving in either game. That means something bad happened. That means we lost the games, I guess. Darn. Yeah, it's been over a minute in both games and nobody moved. So I'm very suspicious about that. Yay, he moved as soon as I was suspicious. Rook to d1, hooray. All right, so Ding is slightly worse, and hopefully both players are still connected in this game because White's been thinking for several minutes here. All right, he castled. The games are still going. Hooray. I mean, I like white because black's king is here and the e-file's open and white castled. He's got to hurry. All right, white's slightly better and white's slightly better. It's like typical super GM kind of chess. Queen c8, confusing the audience. Ding doesn't like his queen on the same file as the rook, and he wants to play c5. So he puts his queen on c8, queen on b1, very suspicious. This is funny. After a3, the engine actually says c5. And if you take it and black takes back, he's threatening these pieces with his queen. Interesting, if true. That's funny that a3, I can just play c5. That's pretty unusual. But yeah, we're lined up on the bubble up here. Got to line up somewhere. Let's see. How am I dealing with the isolation? I don't understand. I'm right here. Man, Kieran and I can't go back to Italy. Italy won't let us back. Well, it's not that they closed it off to American citizens. They just won't let me and Karen back. It's a terrible thing. All right, so he traded on d4. Engine recommended. Will the knight move out? Will the bishop move? Will he put the rook on the open line? Will he play d3 and move his knight out this way? The answer is fries. It's Karen or some criminal. Either way is good. That helps me deal with the isolation. So, really sounds like Karen now. Somebody said, how do you deal with the isolation? And then you walked in. I'm like, well, it's either you or a criminal. Either way, I'm less isolated.
Well, the arrow guy's about to come in, so I'll shut.
Yeah? Is he a straight shooter? Should I put my mask on?
No, it's going to shut your door and he's not going to come in here.
All right. Yeah. So, like a thing that I've shown you before, and I've talked about recently on this stream, Ding hung his queen like the same way.
Oh.
Like in game 1. Like equal position, he hung his queen.
Oh, no.
It's a trap that I've shown and I've played against people and they've played against me and ridiculous.
Oh, I'll have to look at it later.
Yeah. It's when like the queens can take each other and there's a rook defending the queen, so the rook's going to take back. But black plays rook to the back rank check.
And then the rook has to take.
Yeah, so right, so Ding played queen b3, rook c1 check resigns.
Oh, that's basic.
Right. Well, Ding's only 2,800.
That happened to me at the World Open.
Yeah.
But he didn't see it.
Oh, I played it against Noel Hendrickson or Noel Hendrick. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
And then I had it played against me in a more complicated way, and I showed on the stream. And then there's like a million GM games where it happens. But
Yeah,
you think Ding would know? Rick's, yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
But,
I told the story of, the guy, yeah. So they left or no?
Time pressure?
Did they leave the house?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Oh, good. I'm on
All right.
my stuff.
All right.
I'm gonna shut this down.
And the dogs haven't eaten anybody. All right. So bishop f3, good. And then castles, rook e1, also good. Man, those guys activate their pieces. And white is clearly slightly better. All right. And let's see if Ding has equalized yet. a3, he put his knight back on d5 instead of c5. Bishop d3, recommended by the engine. c5, the point. And instead of playing aggressively by moving his knight in an aggressive position, Magnus decides to take on c5. And black has a lot of ways he can recapture, and they're all pretty similar. Like at the moment, queen c5 and bishop c5 are fighting for first. Also, knight takes c3 is possible, opening up the bishop. And they're all about equal. This pawn structure is symmetrical. Both of the rooks are no good here. So it's a pretty equalish kind of position. For some reason, Magnus thing in a long time between moves 12 and 16. And he didn't get anything. It's just equal. And he has a 5-minute time disadvantage. It probably shouldn't matter now. Unless it does matter later, then it matters. All right, took with the queen. He's got the queen and bishop battery. So if white's king ends up here, there could be some quick checkmates, right? See, Karen agrees. Probably the king's not going to walk over here and get checkmated, but you never know. I watch a lot of scholastic chess, so. Yeah, like in the PogChamps, that would be like the recommended line of play, and then that wouldn't be so good. Did Hikaru lose? Hikaru did not lose. However, a couple of days ago, then Hikaru lost. But this Hikaru hasn't been in the event for a while. In the quarterfinals, in the Ding Hikaru match, was a very suspicious match, and Ding ended up winning on the third day. And this is the second day of this thing here. I haven't really heard what happened, other than random, I don't know what happened. When Hikaru was playing yesterday in Title Tuesday, it's not called Title Tuesday anymore, but we'll call it Title Tuesday, so you know what I'm talking about. And then he got disconnected in the finals or the semifinals or in some game, and he lost. And I don't know what happened. I just know that there was an internet issue. There was a VPN issue. There was a delete on Twitter. I don't know what happened. But something happened. I wasn't privy to it. I think I was driving all day or I was sleeping all day. I don't know. It was one of them. Probably sleeping all day. He revealed his IP on stream and immediately got... What? Wait a minute. So they're claiming the reason he got disconnected is he revealed his IP on stream. If you paid me $1 million to reveal my IP on stream and didn't tell me how, I would lose out on $1 million. I don't even know how I would do that.
Who revealed it?
He did. Hikaru.
Okay.
Remember Hikaru got...
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this guy's like, what is IP? Yeah. Okay, so he was doing an ad for a VPN sponsor, which I know. He revealed his IP. Other people saw his IP, and then they were using his IP, and then it didn't work, and then he got kicked off the internet. And then he lost, and then he couldn't play in the event.
Why would he reveal his IP?
Because he's doing a commercial for, like, he's getting sponsored.
But wouldn't they know to tell him not to do that, even if he didn't know?
The truth hurts. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So Raj, pay attention. According to Karen, they should have told him don't do that because people could do that. So what actually happened, Raj? Did the sponsor tell Hikaru, by the way, don't ever reveal your IP? And he did it anyway. He didn't know he was doing it. They didn't tell him. Like, what happened here, Raj?
What was the
Tell me who's at fault here. The sponsor, Hikaru, or the lunatics on the internet? Sponsors don't care if Naka gets spammed. I don't know about that. I don't think so. It was clearly an accident. He knows not to reveal his IP. Okay? The sponsor should have told him. They are all stupid and don't care. They probably told him, no idea why he showed it. Your VPN will give you a different IP. He was probably showing that off. Was it a VPN flex? Even with my IP, my VPN will keep me safe. Hikaru must know revealing your IP isn't recommended. He probably just didn't realize it. Don't you Americans have dynamic IP? I blame Obama. I love spam. Do you love eggs and spam? Sponsor is at fault. Hikaru is pretty savvy. That's what Raj said.
Hey, Dr. Chessman would know. What happened?
So it sounds to me, based on all your insane, chat, that it was an accident. Hikaru didn't mean to show his IP, and then when he did, it was too late. That would make the most sense to me. The sponsor said, don't ever show your IP. Hikaru's like, obviously, and then he accidentally showed it. That would make the most sense. No? All right. Somebody said correct. Obviously, it was an accident. Yeah, it was definitely an accident.
I think he would know not to do
The sponsor didn't even bother telling Naka because it was too obvious not to show your IP. They wouldn't have to tell me that because I wouldn't know how to show I wouldn't even know how to do it.
Dr. Chessman I trust him. Anyway, he just
Pull up a window. It had his external IP.
Yeah, he knows not to show it.
All right, in the chat, who's in the chat? Vote. Who's more at fault, Naka or the sponsor? Who shouldn't have done what they shouldn't have done? Give me the percentage of who's at fault here. Sponsor, Naka. This isn't working out well for me. Naka. Man, Naka's getting crushed here.
Well, they told him to pull the window out. Well,
the sponsor is at fault. So you guys don't agree either. Sponsor. Raj, who's at fault? Give me the percentage. like 80-20, 70-30. Whose fault was it? The hacker's the one at fault. The sponsor shouldn't have chosen. No, that's Naka 80%, 80-20. Two people said Naka 80%. If the sponsor told Naka pull up this window and Naka pulled up the window, that sounds like the sponsor is more at fault than Naka. So that's what sounds like. Raj says, yeah, 2/3 the sponsor, 1/3 Naka.
Yeah, I would agree.
This guy said 70 to 50%.
90% sponsor.
105% sponsor. God damn. So by Naka putting his IP up for 1 or 2 seconds, more than one person was taking advantage of that and making sure that his internet went down by spoofing his IP, or just one guy did it, or did a lot of people do it because they thought it was funny? Like, if you were watching Naka's stream, you're probably a fan of Naka, so why would you do that? You see what I'm saying? No, you don't see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? Probably several people tried it. Probably one guy tried it. You guys aren't very helpful in the chat. You guys just give both answers. One guy can take you off the net if he has your IP. God damn. Because internet. A lot of people call FBI on streamers? What? You spam packets at his IP to deny him service. No, but it seems weird that somebody would be watching his stream, so they probably like him, and then he accidentally shows his IP, and they're like, ha-ha! Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, that's...
I think it's funny.
There are a lot of... It's funny if you like the guy and you destroy his...
These hackers...
Man, they just don't care.
Fight and cause mischief.
Maybe they hate watch like Feingold fans. I don't think so. They hate watch.
I have a lot of people I hate watch. But I wouldn't...
Trolls can't resist trolling. If I was Naka, I'd be mad at the sponsor. The sponsor says, Naka, do this. He's like, okay, and then he's finished. I'd be mad at the sponsor. I would. Like, thanks, sponsor. Thanks for telling me to do something, and then I lose Title Tuesday. Thanks. All right. I blame the sponsor. Okay, so knight takes d5. Why is Magnus playing so passively and like me? Magnus is like trading everything, like playing for a draw. Hey, they drew. What? Why is Magnus playing for a draw with white? What is he, Geary? Maybe Geary's his hero. Man, Queen G4 is winning now, so he's got to take that, yeah. Wow, this is ridiculously drawn. All right. So he sacked a piece, Dingler in for the immediate draw in this position, which is completely drawn anyway. He takes this pawn, and then he perpetual checks him. All right. So the game ended a draw. I mean, Carlsen almost didn't even try to win that game with white, which is weird. That was very Geary-esque. That was very strange. Magnus is white against Ding and like didn't even try. Just like played a draw and he's like, yeah, I drew. Now, he did win the first game with trickery and deceit, but, you know, when you're white, you press a little bit. So that was weird. He got Vishwa nothing. All right. Well, rook b8, says bishop can move out, or b5 even. Yeah. All right, I like white here. These pawns seem suspicious. White seems to have pressure everywhere. Yeah, I don't like Geary's position very much. Ooh, Geary gave up the 2 bishops to alleviate the pressure. Now white has the 2 bishops. Okay, so Nepomniachtchi has a big advantage. Geary pushed all of his pawns, d5, d4, b5. Then he's like, man, my pawns are all weak. And then he finally completed development, but he's got 3 pawns here that potentially could be captured. White has the 2 bishops. White has, the open files. Very bad position for Geary. If I take the rook and you take it with the queen, your d-pawn's hanging. Take it with the knight is ridiculous. So I don't know. Rip the jack or 412. Thank you. Carlsen, greatest of all time confirmed. I don't understand. This game was weird because Magnus seemed like he wasn't even playing for an advantage. He's like, well, if I draw, that's good. It could be Magnus is like, Ding can't beat me. Draw, draw him in the finals. Well, he might be right. I don't know. Maybe Ding can't beat him. Maybe he thought a draw was fine. All right. So that game was a relatively quick draw. Painless. This looks like Geary's in trouble for the first time in this tournament. He has a worse position, and he's 4 minutes behind on the clock. Look, Karu's playing in, chess tournament, and he's trying to show some sponsor stuff. He can't be thinking like, can somebody look at my IP? He's busy playing chess. So when the sponsor says do this, and he's like, okay, then he shouldn't be like, let me think about if that sponsor's request makes any sense, and let me question him about it. I mean, he's playing in blitz chess. He can't be, he can't be like thinking about the ramifications of opening up and helping the sponsor out. And so it's the sponsor's fault. If Raj was wrong, it's because Raj didn't give the sponsor enough credit for messing up Hikaru. Now, when this happened and Hikaru couldn't get back to the internet anymore, was he in the finals or the semifinals? What was going on there? Yeah. Yeah, sponsor's fault is correct. Yeah. It was in the semis? Yeah. Yeah, I don't take the side. I take the side of who's right. The sponsor's like, do this, and Naka's like, whatever, the sponsor gives me money. And then it destroys your stream. Horrible. He should sue them for billions. The quarterfinals. So I asked the chat, was it the semis or the finals? And one said the semis and one said the quarters. I can never get the right answer. Damn. Looks like it was in the quarters. Yeah. So, according to Bonarici, the VPN he was sponsoring, that sponsors him, was designed to stop the attack that took him down. That's what it says. That's their point. Like with this, you won't get in any trouble. Then that was it. Yeah.
That's funny.
By the way, why would somebody streaming from the US need a VPN? Like if you're in China, okay, but why would you? Is it to stop attacks? And then he got attacked? Huh. Yeah. Security? Yeah, that security worked out pretty good. Bam. Now let me ask you this question. When did he actually get back? 5 minutes later? Half an hour later? Never? When was he back on the internet? According to the Gawking Rabble, he's being sponsored by the VPN. He's advertising for it. If he got attacked and the attack worked, that means he wasn't using the VPN. He was just streaming normally, advertising for the VPN, but not using it. Then got attacked. Since he wasn't using the VPN, the attack worked. That's what one of the Gawking Rabble said. The Gawking Rabble says a lot of stuff, though. But that could be the case. He came back 5 minutes later, then left again forever. Interesting. He was never seen again. God damn. If you use a VPN. Yeah. Dr. Bojangles, I agree. Mark told me about that. If you have a VPN and you want to watch certain things on like Hulu or Netflix, but they're shown in Australia or Europe and not here, you can watch them because they don't know where you are. You're like, I'm in England. Then you can watch the Netflix in England. And sometimes shows come out earlier in other countries than the US and we have to wait, but you don't wait. Spencer does that. Spencer's like, watch this show, but you can't watch it unless you pretend you're in, Germany or something. Then you can watch it on Netflix because it's not here yet. So that's one reason to use a VPN, I guess. Now, obviously, if you're going to China, or where did I go? The UAE, then, yeah. Then you got to, do that. Interesting. Yeah, but Bonarici, maybe he wasn't using it. Hulu knows about it and doesn't let you do it with a VPN. God damn. VPN's good. Yeah, I know if you travel, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, Hikaru's just sitting at home playing chess. What does he need a VPN for? This guy says, even if he was using the VPN, if he showed the router's public IP, that's not good.
Well, Dr. Chess Gremlin said he wasn't using it.
So he wasn't using it.
He would know.
He was just advertising it, and then they attacked him.
He's one of Anaka's.
That's almost a good thing for the VPN. See, you should use our VPN. That's almost good advertising for the sponsor.
Yeah.
If only Hikaru was using our VPN, he would have been fine. All right, so Carlson Ting was a very boring draw. Nepo's been squeezing Geary, not knowing what his IP address is, so he can't get an advantage. Yeah, these pawns are... He's attacking all these pawns. No, stop it. Bam! Got a pawn. He snuck a pawn away. You got to hide your pawns away. Hey! Okay, put it in H. Yeah, the engine says after queen d3, there's more weak pawns. We played rook c1, which is also good. I mean, white's just a pawn up, and white has 4 minutes extra. So if Nepo doesn't win this game, he'll have great vengeance and furious anger. He's a big favorite to win this game. Although there's one of these endings like queen e2, take, and that's probably a draw. Even though black's pawns are bad on the queen side. So like something like this, like might happen. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it might happen. Right? And you get some endgame like this. I don't know if this is a win or a draw. I would expect it's a draw, but I'm not sure. You know, you just like black just chills, you know, moves his king up, you know, and doesn't do anything. Maybe whites can win this, maybe. But something like that could happen. So then good drawing chances for Geary. Okay, instead Geary retreats, always retreat. I mean, this just seems like white's up a pawn. Now, Geary might think I can keep that bishop at bay and just, you know, the bishop can't get out. So, but okay, 5 minutes and 50 seconds versus a minute, and white's up a pawn. Not good for Geary. No, I mean, but this is a famous, you know, Bobby Fischer, the shampoo company said they'd give him like $1 million to make a commercial about his shampoo. And he said, I don't use that shampoo. So, yeah. So Hikaru left for 5 minutes, came back, and then left forever. So my question is, since this IP attack and the hackers and the accidental showing on the screen in the last 17 hours, has Hikaru been streaming again? Or is he still having issues? Like, can they permanently give him issues, or he can take care of it in a few minutes? You know what I mean? Like, the person who was hacking him, can they still hack him now? Or that's been taken care of? They can't. He'll get a new IP. He'll be fine. Change your IP. He's waiting to get a new IP. The ISP wasn't helpful. So you're saying, Dr. Chess Gremlin, you're saying Hikaru hasn't streamed since that incident? I know he's streaming all the time. I mean, has he been streaming in the last 17 hours? He has to call his ISP to change his IP. But if you called your ISP to change your IP, wouldn't that take like half an hour? He's not streamed since the incident. God damn. Yeah, it sounds like it. Dr. Disrespect did the same thing. I mean, Dr. Disrespect was banned in his children's children. He can change his IP. You guys have a lot of things that you think Hikaru should do, but just do this, no problem. Seems like it's still a problem. Hikaru hasn't streamed in 2 days? Now, Title Tuesday was yesterday, and today's Wednesday. So I don't know about that. What? He's waiting on a new router. God damn. This is all ridiculous. I mean, this stuff happened yesterday. What? My fiance woke up shouting, "It's Thursday." It could be Thursday, but it's Wednesday. I mean, it's Thursday maybe in Australia right now. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So what happened here? So this is still an issue? God damn. Thursday's basically Wednesday. It's Thursday somewhere. He was streaming yesterday after the BS. I don't know about that. All right, so somebody said, why didn't you take with the bishop? They don't mean here. Okay, so they mean here. Why didn't he play bishop takes d4? Bishop takes d4, according to the engine, is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But he played bishop b6 because he's like, I'll take that pawn when I feel like it. Basically, there's no defense to it. Yeah, he just took a next move. And he's like, whatever. I'll take it when I want. All right, f3 trapping the knight. The engine does not like what black is doing because his knight can't move. Yeah, very good play. So according to the Gawking Rebel,
Yeah.
like he hasn't streamed since this. He's waiting for a new router.
Oh.
Damn. The only thing worse than not being able to stream waiting for a router and getting tricked like that is Geary's position. That's the only thing worse. Geary wishes he couldn't stream right now. Okay, so Geary's only hope is Jan loses his internet. Yeah, this knight's trapped and he can't get out. So that's the end of the night. All right. And Nepomniachtchi is grabbing the wrap it up button. You don't need a new router. Ooh. So they said he got kicked off the internet because of the crazy guy that was tricking him. Then he came back. Then he was gone forever. So he hasn't been on streaming forever, like since Title Tuesday was going on. And then Dr. Gremlin's like, he's waiting for a new router. And then people on the internet are like, all you have to do is go to your command line. You know, there are all kinds of crazy stuff they want him to do. Yeah. It's silly not to have a dynamic IP as such a big streamer, but I guess he will now. Raj, what do you think of all this? Also, are you at work, Raj? And if you are at work, why are you? One guy said just restart your router. One other guy already said restarting the router won't do it. Look, if Hikaru hasn't streamed in 24 hours, there's a problem. He's not like taking a nap. I mean, he likes streaming. So I have 2 laptops open running back and forth. Why are you telling me that, Raj?
I mean, we have dynamic IPs
Yeah.
at the house, so I don't really know.
This guy said if I send him my IP, he'll tell me what to do. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Raj decrees everyone is terrible. I mean, Bonarici, Naka didn't know he was showing his IP address. He did what the sponsor told him to. The sponsor said, open this page. I mean,
I don't think it's his sponsor.
yeah, it's not EST, it's EDT. Boo. Give your bank account and routing numbers. That's a different kind of router. Why isn't Geary resigning? Yeah. I don't think Naka's like, I'm going to show my IP. I don't think that's what he was thinking. I think it was an accident. And he just did what the sponsor said. Again, you guys are complaining about Naka. Why aren't you complaining about Geary not resigning here? Are you complaining about that? No. Well, actually, one of you was. So remember, Karen, remember how I said a piece is worth 9 pawns? Everybody laughs at me, right? In this position, Nepo's up a bishop for a pawn, okay? So according to what you learned as a child, that's +1, right? Like a bishop is, or +2, I mean. I was close. And it says he's +7, +8, +9, because a bishop is a bishop, and not a bishop is nothing. And then he resigned, because, yeah, that looks good. See, one side has a bishop and one side doesn't. That's not +1, it's not +2, it's +1,000,000. Now that the engine's got to depth 25, it's +10. I mean, you can't, yeah. Okay, so that game, I mean, Nepomniachtchi just outplayed Geary. Like, he was slightly better after move 6. He was clearly better after move 12. He was winning after move 18. And Geary didn't resign the last 10 moves, so he didn't lose a really quick game. That was Nepo just running over Geary. So that was an excellent game from Nepomniachtchi. He got Geary out of his preparation, and he just outplayed him completely. And he had more time the whole game. He was stacking paper to the ceiling. What kind of chrome was he riding on?
10-inch.
24-inch chrome.
Whatever.
Yeah, come on. No, I mean, Nepomniachtchi just played great that game. Yeah. If you want a new IP earlier than that, you have to ask the ISP. If your router is disconnected long enough to fall out of the cache, next time you connect, you'll get a new IP. So what Raj is saying, and Dr. Chess Gremlin is saying, and one other person said is, unplug your router for 8 hours, plug it back in, and then he's good. But instead he's getting a new router.
They said 8 hours?
I said 8 hours, I made it up.
Oh, I just asked how long.
I just made it up because I thought that was funny. Yeah, it's like a shift, 8 hours. Yeah. Mine resets every time I reset my router instantly, the guy said. Is that good or bad? This one guy says it's a few minutes. He doesn't need a new router. He's overreacting. How many pawns is an IP worth? 11. Public and private IP are different. These guys are very opinionated on what he should do. Mm-hmm. People are confusing internal and external IPS. God damn.
Maybe he wanted to get a new router anyway, and so he took that opportunity.
Yeah, but this is terrible because, I mean, every day something weird is happening. Now, let's talk about something important. Because Karen's been wondering this for at least 2 days, possibly 3 days. I want the real answer. I don't want your joke answers. Why did Dr. Disrespect get kicked off? Did you get any more information?
No, I looked.
Okay, I've never heard of him, and Karen's like, he's the biggest. I don't know. I thought I was the biggest. I'm pretty big. So we don't know. No one knows. He's the Zodiac Killer. It's good answers. We're the gawking rabble. Nobody knows. Money laundering. I'm assuming that Dr. Disrespect knows. Static. We don't know. Nobody knows. Play knife F5. He doesn't know. I don't believe he doesn't know. I heard Dr. Disrespect is going. I heard? What are you, Trump?
He said they didn't tell him specifically.
Yeah, but he probably has an idea.
Probably.
He probably says like, I probably shouldn't have done whatever I did. I shouldn't have killed all those people. Yeah, I actually already made that joke, Bonfire Mayhem. He's not a real doctor. That's why you're out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He tried to recruit people to other streaming platforms. That sounds like you just made that up. He streamed in a toilet. So?
That was a long time ago and he already got banned.
Oh, yeah, I knew about that. I thought you were kidding, but yeah, we knew about that. That was years ago. Who cares about that?
He already got in trouble for that.
Yeah. If Naka has the static IP, his ISP has tools for scrubbing and getting a new one. If it's dynamic, bouncing his router should do it. I get a new IP whenever I reboot my router. The rumor is he took Black Lives Matter money into his account. Nobody would know that. He went to disrespectful medical school. This says, Bonarici says, Dr. Disrespect said Twitch never told me, but his ex-girlfriend said he's lying. He knows what he did. He definitely knows, but he claims not to know. All right. The streaming in a bathroom was like a year and a half ago. That's not why he was thrown out. Red Bull sued NordVPN for ruining their sponsory. That is funny. It's a hoax. Wait, what's a hoax? Everything's a hoax? Somebody told me the Corona beer tasted good, but it was a hoax. So, Twitch didn't like his username. Dr. Johnny Fever's the best doctor. I agree. What show's he from, Karen? Well, they spelled Johnny wrong. But
Johnny.
Dr. Johnny Fever. We drove through it. We recently drove past it.
I feel like I should know. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just drove through Cincinnati.
I
Boo.
was thinking about that show.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it.
So nobody knows anything about anything. Damn. Dr. Disrespect is DB Cooper. That's what, well. What people are playing, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the tournament anymore. All right, I only missed the first hour of the game. And they've been playing for a long time, Ding and Carlson. They've been playing for 9-10 minutes. All right, Ding's white against Carlson. Carlson won the first game when Ding hung his queen on move 66 in an equal position. Game 2 was a very boring draw, so Ding probably wants to win this game. D5 is very unusual. That is not a common move. God damn. Yeah, this is not a common way for a black to play. Yeah, so black, bless you. Black is down 2 tempi from a normal Sicilian where he would be, have the, basically white's playing a dragon / accelerated dragon, but he's 2 tempi up. So, very strange play by Magnus. Yeah, Magnus just playing for a slightly worse position and getting it. Good job. And he played knight d2. All right, the engine's not a big fan of knight d2, but it's okay. All right, so I don't understand why Magnus is playing weird. And more importantly, I don't understand why Magnus is playing so slowly. If you're going to play a weird opening, that's because you have secret illegal prep and your opponent's the one who plays slowly. Why is Magnus playing this strange line? I don't know. Instead, Dinglerin's playing instantly against this weird line Magnus is playing, and Magnus is thinking forever. Now, Magnus's position is fine. It's just weird to play weird and slow. Usually when you play weird, your opponent plays slow because they're like, what's he doing? So very, very strange time management from... You guys ever seen a game Magnus played in Rapid where he had 6 minutes, his opponent had 15? It's move 15. It's boring too. It's not like all the pieces are hanging. So that was weird. It's possible Twitch is going to ban Magnus because of his very slow play. Let's see. 11 versus 8 now? What, are you saying that this is wrong? Yeah, probably. They say Magnus is having a time issue this game because he's helping Naka with his internet right now. So he's not paying attention to the game. Mm-hmm. I didn't say it. They did. Are the clocks accurate? No, absolutely not. Magnus is resetting his IP? All right. All right, this game hasn't started. Confusing the audience. Yeah, my thing says Magnus has 5 minutes and Ding has 15. That seems unlikely. I demand answers. Not sure what the answers are. Man, Nepomniachtchi played great last game. That was a great game. Yeah, exactly. Magnus should fake disconnecting, then Ding will throw the next game, and then Magnus wins the match. That's a good plan. I like that. Yeah. All right, we have 626 viewers, if you can call yourself viewers. I think we're going to get like a bunch of moves coming in soon, like 10 moves each. Very suspicious. Time for another train. Thanks for the several cent to do's. It looks like 9 cents. All right, C6. Hey, all of a sudden, Magnus got a ton of time back. Good, good. Okay, after C6, White played E3. The engine's furious at that move and wants to take on D3. That seems like a big decision in a game your opponent has to win. The engine says black's better, but I mean, that could backfire because you're making the game super complicated with the sacrifice and stuff. So I don't know about that. Yeah, I wouldn't play bishop takes D3 either. Yeah. Knight B5 is more sober. Yay, 10 cent to do's. All right, so he traded on B5 and then knife F3. The engine likes black, but most humans would probably like white because of this weird pawn structure. And we have the double fianchetto. You know those fianchettos that are like double fianchettos? Yeah, stealing somebody's joke from yesterday, even though they stole it from The Simpsons. All right, so Magnus's position is fine. He's down on the clock a little bit. And I guess the other game started because I hear noises. All right. So they're both moving instantly every move, Giri and Nepo. It's once again a semi-Taresh. Looks like Nepo, after winning that last game, he's got a semi. Right, sweetie? All right. Ready, 1234 subscribe. Good, good. He's going to win. I mean, he played great the last game, so he gets the semi. All right, we saw this before. We Rook D1, and then I think Nepo played B6. This was played in the first game of the match. Yeah, this is still... Now, Bishop A6, he didn't play that. Nepomniachtchi played Bishop B7, Knight D7 in the first game of the match. So this is already different. Always retreat. And White is clearly slightly better. Slightly. If this is anyone but Steve Allen, you're stealing my joke. That's correct. You know who said that?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Somebody said in the chat, if you're anyone but Steve Allen, you're stealing my joke.
You're asking me who?
Yeah, who said that? It's a cartoon character.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Krusty, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it was Krusty. If this is anyone but Steve Allen, you're stealing my joke. And so forth. 12 cent to do's. Who needs a Hikaru mart? Not I. I don't know about that quote. It is Krusty. Yeah. Pam gave 500 cent to do's. It's Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
A reference to Jay Leno stealing Steve Allen's jaywalking, I believe. Everything is stolen from everybody. Otherwise, it's not funny. Why did he take with the rook on d5 and not the pawn? A passed pawn. He spelled passed pawn like it was in the past. Yeah, passed pawn is like you're passing something, like you're passing in a car. You pass another car. P-A-S-S. Passed pawn. Not passed, like past tense. Okay. Yeah, taking either way is fine. If you take with the pawn and the pawn gets blockaded, then you have an isolated pawn. Taking with the rook activates your pieces, and you can play e5, e6. Most grandmasters are more worried about their piece activity than their pawn structure. If the pawn gets blockaded, that's pawn takes is fine, but rook takes is just a different way of playing. $2.45. Always play knife 245. Thanks, Rumble Brain Frog. Another train. Thanks for the gifted sub, Cy Bradbury. We're going to need about 70, 80 subs a day to get back to where we once belong. Active the D file. This pawn's good. Also, e takes is fine. Then, the queen blocks it, the knight blocks it, and then black pushes over here. They agree to a draw. All right. Now we can play knight here and knife f5. Always play knife f5. Yep. Yeah, white's just better. Black's not losing, but it's just better for white. DMerc37 subscribed. Good, good. We have 1,100 subscribers. We're gaining. We need 70 a day for the next 20 days. Then, something. I asked a German boy, how old are you? And he said 9. Exactly. Pam gave 500 bits. That is correct. As I indicated. Go, Pam. 500 centidues and some emotes. Manstar subscribed. It's Pam. Pam gives the centidues. She also gives the subs. Everybody else gives. It's Giving Wednesday. Today Wednesday? Why is Gearing playing so good? That is suspicious. Yeah. So he doesn't trade queens. Knife F5, mate. Rook here. Rawr. Arrows everywhere. And even after all those arrows, the engine says Rook C5 or G6 is okay for black. All right, now what happened in this game? He played Rook A D8, E4, Bishop E6. And now in the Sicilian, you'd like to play the E4, D4 double punch. If you play E4 and never play D4, Ish don't think so. So he's got to play D4 at some point. Now, in this position, the engine was espousing moving the bishop here, so the rook defended the pawn. So when he put the bishop on E6, instead of D4, which is a fine move, nothing wrong with D4, he's like, well, the pawn's hanging, I guess I'll take that. Then he can try to push all of his pawns here. Now again, Ding may be playing more double-edged than usual because he's down a point, he's got to win. So he's probably not going to win with black the last game, so he got to win with white. He's got more time, double-edged position. The engine doesn't like the way he's playing. It doesn't like bishop takes. It says this pawn's weak, Papa John's. Prefers Magnus's position. It wanted to play B4 or D4, okay, Kasparov style. Bishop takes it doesn't like. Now it says Magnus has the advantage. But it's a very complicated position. That's what Ding needs. 100 centidues from Diffenderfer. It is about midnight in China where Ding is playing. That's right. All these online tournaments where like you got Ding and sometimes you and sometimes Wang Hao, sometimes Wei Yi. They're playing 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. because that's the way it goes. Now, to be honest, if I was like Hikaru playing Ding, I would rather play at 10 p.m. than 10 a.m. Like I would. But now, if the game's over, when the match is ending between 1:30 and 2:30, probably Hikaru has the advantage at 2 p.m. over 2 a.m. But maybe Ding has the advantage at 10 p.m. over 10 a.m. You got to prepare for these tournaments if you're one of the Chinese players. You got to, you're going to be up till 2, 3 in the morning. That's the way it goes. It's Karen. They saw you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Karen kept suggesting moves that hang a queen. And I said, get that garbage out of here. But she didn't understand what I meant. Mm-hmm. What's your Starbucks of choice? I usually get the dragon drink, but I used to get, it's just too hot. I used to get a skinny vanilla latte with soy milk. But it's hot. It's hot. I'm always hot. Terrible. So did Carlson lose his internet? What's going on here? All right, let's get back to this game. Queen G4, Rook C5, Knife F5, threatening mate with advantage. G6 is forced. And the engine said white's... The mustache tickles slightly, just slightly. Snake oil scrub, keeping the train alive with a sub. We need one more sub to get to level 3. One more sub. Do it. $20 seconds. We need a sub or 200 centidues. Who's going to step up to the plate? It's Karen. 10 seconds. No, we're going to die on level 2. 201 centidues. Did that do it? 99%, 100%. 100%, not good enough?
It was too late.
Yeah, 100% wasn't good enough. We needed like 202 centidues. It's over.
Oh.
Man, the truth hurts. It said 100%, but it wasn't good enough. 5 subs, 892 bits. Thank you. Seats Boy gifted a sub. We'll do better on the next train. All right, what's going on here? Bishop takes, bishop takes. I think the engine wanted to take this pawn on a3. Knight takes, queen d6. This is also good. f4. Queen takes a3. So very double-edged position. The engine prefers black, but obviously all three results are not only possible, they will happen. And now he's allowing Magnus to have three connected passed pawns on the queen side after bishop takes b3, and Ding has this monster center. The engine says bishop takes b3. It thinks black should win. It thinks these pawns are too strong in the long run, and this is shallow and pedantic. And Ding doesn't care. Ding just doesn't want the game to be a draw. Okay, if it goes draw, 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 he's out. So he's got to win. He's got to take some chances. He's got to play tricky. Okay, the engine likes black, but this doesn't look like a draw. This looks like somebody might win, right? I mean, white's got, this action going on. Black has passed pawns here. Black's up a pawn. This looks more like somebody's going to win, and Ding has a big time advantage. If two engines were playing, black would be winning. But this is a triple-edged, at the least. Exactly. This chat that's going on right now, apologize for being born. On Twitter today, somebody I don't know tweeted, I have to work a 9-to-5 job because 22 years ago, two idiots had sex for like a minute. I was like, what? Man, the truth hurts. Usually I don't see people on Twitter referring to their parents as idiots, but there you go. I said usually, it's like 49% of the time. So that's right, you got to work and do stuff and donate because you're here. That's the way it goes. Yeah, the truth hurts. I went vegan because my horse ate my meat. I don't even know what that means. It's obviously disgusting, but I still don't. Is that from Family Guy? Probably. Is this live? No. All right, so the engine likes what Magnus is doing. Bishop takes it likes. Queen b4, breaking this pin, defending the queen. Here comes the pawn. D pawn is attacked. Papa John's. D5. And now, if the times are somewhat accurate, it's not good for Magnus. You can't have 7 minutes to a minute and a half. You can't do that. Magnus never does that. You don't see Magnus with a minute and a half and his opponent has 7 minutes. You don't see that. So, White's doing this. Magnus has a minute on his clock. If Magnus had an hour on his clock, then Magnus would make two queens and White's counterplay would be shallow and pedantic. White can also try to win this way. So black has an excellent position, but his time management isn't very good. And Ding has a position that he could win. Now, if Ding loses, which is not unlikely, the match is over. Just like that. Right? Just like Kaiser Soze. It's gone forever. You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen agrees. So yeah, if Carlsen wins, it's over. The match is over. He gets in the finals. If Ding wins, they tied it up. All right, so after here he played g6, and this says Geary's never moving ever. I mean, we've been here like 5 minutes, so I don't know. I guess he's thinking for 5 minutes. All right, back to the game that could decide the match. Usual suspects, that is correct. You can't donate, Pam. No. But you donate like every 5 minutes. What do you mean? You've been donating for like a year. What? Some guy's quoting the Red Hot Chili Peppers over here. Who's worse, Kaiser Soze or Kevin Spacey? That's a good funny. No, that's funny. Ding was in a barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois. Also quoting the movie. Very good. Spacey, because he's a real person. He is? All right, D6. Rook c d8 was the only good move, and Magnus found it. It's a very hard move to find for a human because black just played rook c8. So it's hard to play rook d8 as your next move. That's like but that's the best move. d7. The engine says d7 is a really bad move. It says knight takes d7 and black's completely winning. Otherwise, white's fine. Magnus has to temporarily sack a piece. This knight's pinned, and that's what Magnus did. Bishop c4, and then white's just completely dead here. White's totally crushed. So if Magnus continues playing well this game and wins, which seems likely, the match is over. He goes into the finals. If Nepomniachtchi wins his game, then he wins his match? Yeah. Now, Nepomniachtchi's not winning, but if he does win, then that's it. We're done for the day. We'll be done in like 10 minutes. I don't think black's going to win this game, but I don't know. White hasn't moved in about 12 minutes. I don't know. Maybe Giri got disconnected. Yeah, this is bad for Ding. Well, every move Magnus played was right. Bishop takes b3, queen b4, rook c8, rook d8, knight takes d7, bishop c4. All engine moves. Ding's like, no. If you want to donate and it's working, then you can click this link. Although Pam usually does bits, not dun 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 dun. So I don't know what she means exactly. You click that link, you can donate, like where Mubat says. If you wanted to do cheers, she's cheering all the time. It could mean there's some issue. Twitch doesn't work. Her company's like, there's no way she's giving that money to Ben, so they're declining the transaction. They know who I am. All right, Dingleren's going down, and there hasn't been a move in this game. And okay, he made a move. Rook takes c5. Shockingly, Giri decided to trade pieces. Giri thought a long time on that move. All right, so if somehow Giri gets outplayed and loses this game, this match is also over. And Nepomniachtchi and Giri will play a third match tomorrow to see who plays Magnus in the final. Magnus fella can really play chess. Sometimes. Queen d4, bishop f1, bishop f1, bishop b5 skewers the rooks. That analysis was mainly illegal. You illegally moved for white twice in a row, and you assumed that black took on d7. Yeah, everything about that analysis was suspicious. To read analysis like that, you have to donate more. That's, Magnus better at soccer than chess? I don't think so. Probably not. All right, he played queen g5. I'm going backwards for some reason. And the engine says it's all zeros. It says every move is all zeros. Very suspicious. Okay, and the game ended. He played queen d1, queen e7, and then he resigned. Because he's going to lose this, and he's completely lost, and this is hanging. So the best he can do is move his rook, lose this, and black has 3 extra connected pass pawns. So he just resigned. So Ding gets crushed. Magnus wins 2.5-half, and he plays in the finals against the winner of the other match. So my question is, there's 2 scenarios. One is Nepomniachtchi wins today, and tomorrow they play a third match, Nepomniachtchi and Giri. The other scenario, Giri wins today, and it's Giri Magnus in the final. So my question is, if Giri wins today, does the final start tomorrow, or does it start in 2 days because that day was for the third match, which isn't going to happen? Well, we're going to find out if Giri wins the match today, whether they play tomorrow or the next day. I actually don't know. Only Karen knows. This guy insists it's one guy said 2 days, one guy said tomorrow. One guy said yesterday. Yeah. How did I get 3 answers? If Anish wins, they start in 2 weeks. What? Yeah. 2 days is winning. Okay, so everybody says if Giri wins this match against Nepo today, tomorrow's a rest day. Nobody plays. If Giri loses the match, then Giri plays Nepomniachtchi tomorrow, obviously. All right, in the chat, do you think Hikaru will stream today or tomorrow first? When's the next time Hikaru is going to stream? Today or tomorrow? Or after tomorrow? Not even tomorrow, but later. What's your opinion? Tomorrow, today, never. Well, never. Yesterday, never. Both. Always streaming. No, you can't say both. Which one? Is he going to stream today or he won't? Today, tomorrow, either today or tomorrow.
So the crossing match is over?
Yes. 2.5 half.
Okay, I'll update you.
Today with a brown new router he didn't need. Yes, he will stream today. Man, trying to learn was really confident. And Camus Kondo 91 was paraphrasing Casablanca. He said, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, later that day. That's right. Very good. 50-50. Can you give me some chess classes? I'm from Russia? Sure. Do you think it's fair? Some people have to stay up. Yeah, it's the fairest. He will stream sometime this month. That's correct because it's July 1st. He tied an onion to his belt, which was the style at the time. Who's he quoting there?
Say it again?
He tied an onion to his belt, which was the style at the time.
I don't know.
Grandpa Simpson.
Oh.
Grandpa Simpson gave some rambling story once, and they said, how do you know all that stuff? Like Bart, and he says, I pieced it together mainly from sugar packets. Grandpa Simpson. Grandpa is the name. All right, what's happening here? F6. Boo! Boo! Go Giri. F6 is okay. I'm just furious. Knight C6. Queen B3 check is good. King H8 is good. Knight E3 is good. All right, well, white's obviously better because black's pawns here don't make any sense at all. The engine says it's equal because the engine's wrong. However, Nepomniachtchi does have 7 extra minutes. That's probably worth more than this mild inconvenience here. So I'll say equal is okay. When was Yankee Doodle Dandy born? I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. Born on
4th of July?
the 4th of July. That's right. And who sang it in the movie?
Cagney?
That's also correct. You win on all counts. You would have known that quicker if your name was Mary. But it's Karen. No, I was kidding, Nikolai. I don't give lessons. You'll have to ask John Bartholomew. And I would be very expensive. It would be like $2,000 an hour if I gave lessons. But I still wouldn't do it. I played F6 in 2 games. Boo, boo, boo.
Who asked for a lesson?
Some guy from Soviet Russia.
Oh.
King G7, H3.
I was going to say if it was Stojan now.
What?
I didn't consider it.
No. I consider nothing. All right, so Nepomniachtchi is trying to take care of his king, but it's a long-lasting issue. And Giri always plays the most passive, solid, equal move instead of going for the advantage. H3. Terrible. 200 centidues. Magnus played lights out today. Knife F5. That is correct. Queen B1. H3, Queen B1. Man, that's some passive moves. I was like, white's better. And then Geary's like, no, I'm not. Show me. Queen B4. Yeah, if he trades queens, black's king isn't bad anymore. Geary will definitely trade queens. I guarantee it. If you don't like my guarantee, I'll guarantee you something else. Geary's going to play queen takes B4 and then rook to D1. That's definitely going to happen. There's a 0% chance that won't happen. Does that make sense? 0%. Yeah, and then rook D1. Yeah. It won't be rook C1. It'll be rook D1. I'm not sure why, though. Why is he going to play rook D1 instead of rook C1? Yeah, he did, though. The thing that I guaranteed would happen, that happened. Yeah, because I knew that's the way Geary is. He has to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure why he played rook D1 instead of rook C1, but he has to because he's Geary.
Can you say hi to Shivam?
Who? I've said hi to him like 4 times. Oh. Every 10 seconds he says, this is Shivam, this is Shivam.
Is that the Shivam that we know?
I don't know. He just keeps saying, this is Shivam.
Can't be the same Shivam.
I don't know. It is me, Shivam. I mean, that's like the 25th time he said it.
And I always
yeah.
do too.
Yeah. I think there's some button stuck on his computer. He accidentally pushes it. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, I guarantee it. How did you know? Because I know. F3. He has to play the move that makes it the most drawn. He has to. Yeah. Does Karam stream these days? Not today. 700 viewers a do. Go viewers a do. All right, so if you're turning in late, Magnus won his match 2.5 half, and Nepo's up 1.5 half. If he wins this drawn ending, we're done for the day. I'll come back later and play blitz or something. Knight takes A2. I mean, Nepo's not going to win this game. Might lose, but he won't lose either. Shanklin's comic masterpiece. I did not. I can't catch people doing stuff when I'm not watching them. Well, I could. How come Nepomniachtchi always has a passed B pawn and a rook ending? What's going on here? Yeah, white's better here because white's going to play rook A3 and white's going to play knight D5 and king F2 and king E3. And the B pawn is more weak than strong. Should be a draw, but it's better to have white here. Like, normally this would be unpleasant for black, but he's playing Geary, so he should draw without any problem. I mean, Geary needs to win. Geary down a point. And he has black next game. So Geary's got to win. Come on, man. You see what Ty Bradbury said? Shankland made Spindler look extremely polite and obsequious in the way he systematically cuts off all the commentators. That's true. That's funny. And so forth. Yeah, this is pretty passive for black. Rook's defending the pawn's weak. Black doesn't have any, black's knight can't move anywhere good. Terrible. Sam said Magnus plays his ideas. That is funny. see. So who's streaming on Chess 24 now? Is it Yasser and Svidler and Gustafsson or something? I wonder if Gustafsson is back, because he didn't seem like he was back for a while. The truth hurts. Svidler, Yasser, Ginger, GM. God damn. That's an interesting something. Svidler, Simon, Anna Rudolph. That's different than Yasser. Who's confusing Yasser and Anna Rudolph? Shanklin's rude. I don't believe that. Your spelling of Shanklin isn't that suspicious. So Yasser's not there today. It's Anna Rudolph and Ginger GM and Svidler. So I have a serious question. Like, this is a serious question. You ready for my serious question? If it's Svidler and Ginger GM and Anna Rudolph, is Svidler ever letting them talk? That doesn't sound like Svidler would let them talk. Right? Is he just talking nonstop and they're just sitting there? I can't believe Svidler would let Ginger GM opine on the position. I mean, are you kidding me? This guy said, nope, not let him talk. I'm doing great. Oh, yeah, definitely food. Anna Rudolph is monitoring Twitter. Is Simon Williams actually saying anything? I mean, because Fiddler doesn't let other people talk. I don't know. All right, so Geary's king was too active, so he had to hide his king away. Hey, you've got to hide your king away. Don Wiz is subscribed. Svidler's the quietest man alive next to Sam? God damn. When Magnus is on stream, Svidler doesn't let him talk either. Yeah. No, the greatest commentary ever, which has never happened, would be Svidler and Ian Rogers. And my guess is that they would just have a fist fight. That would be my guess. Or they would both talk at the same time the whole stream, and you couldn't understand what was going on. That's the second most likely. I'm pretty sure Svidler wouldn't have fist fight against Ian Rogers. Cy Bradbury gifted a sub. You guys don't know Ian Rogers, but he's a Australian grandmaster. I did commentary with him in St. Louis. He stood the whole time and didn't take a break. So he stood for like 6 hours. And I never said anything. He just went nonstop. And he told a lot of stories Yasser style. He was like in 1991. His stories weren't as old as Yasser's. His were from the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. No, Bartholomew Feingold would be too good. If we did commentary, other commentators would never get hired. So they don't do that. They don't want you to realize what's been going on the last few years. So they're never going to hire me and John. It would just be too good. In too good of shape. So Nepo's trying to get his knight trapped after Geary got his knight trapped. Good. Yasser had tremendous patience. Those guys all know each other. Yasser, if I did commentary with Shanklin, I know what's going to happen. That's what happens. When you do commentary with somebody else, we all know each other. So we know before it happens. You guys have to wait for it to happen. We already know what's going to happen. They told Yasser, you're doing commentary with Shanklin. He's like, all right, I know what's going to happen here. Yeah. Me and Naka have done commentary. It was great. Yeah. We did commentary at the U.S. Junior Championship before you guys were born. Why can't Geary King C4 before Rook was there? Okay, so you wanted Geary to play knight here and win this pawn. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, you want Geary to play knight here and take this pawn. Yeah. If you play knight there and I attack your knight and you take and I play rook there, I got counterplay. There's counterplay if White's knight goes over here on G2. So he's kicking out the black knight, and he'll win this pawn when he feels like it. Hasn't felt like it yet. Super GMs are more patient than you guys. They move around 80 moves, then they take the B pawn. You guys want to win it right away. Well, obviously, I'm a better commentator than Svidler. Are you kidding? I assume you just were, accentuating the point. Yeah. All right, rook to d3. Knight c2. Nepo playing for the draw. Although, I don't know, rook here check looks pretty good. This seems more winning than drawing. The problem is Anisha's time situation is iffy. But, I mean, he's taking a pawn. He checked and took a pawn. So, I don't know. The engine doesn't give white a huge advantage here. I think white's winning. And the engine thinks white's better. The engine's just wrong. What are you going to do? I don't care if he's a niche. I mean, if you're winning, you're winning. I care a little bit if he's a niche. No, I mean, I would expect white to win this game if the time situation was equivalent. But, okay, he's down 6 minutes on the clock. I still think he's going to win. Engine knows the engine knows Geary's white, so it's getting it closer to equal. Man, Karen's giving him a smackdown.
Third time is going to get banned.
Damn.
So I'm too busy.
Are you going to ban Cy Bradbury for spelling neighbor wrong? All right.
No, but I'm too busy to be bothered.
Damn. Harsh.
I've already had a conversation with him on the side.
Damn. Karen's a furious anger. All right, he played h4, putting it in h. King e2, g4, fg. Man, the engine knew it was Geary. Geary just threw all his advantage away. It didn't like h4. It didn't like king e2. It didn't like fg. It says already a draw. Yeah, that was, you don't... I thought he'd play f4, move his king up and win. I didn't think he would play h4, move his king back. I didn't realize it was Geary. All right, never mind. My bad. Well, it's going to be a draw now. Yeah, you don't move your king back in the end game. You don't trade pawns. He's a bad endgame player, can I tell you? Yeah. Terrible. Anish being Anish. The engine knew Anish better than me. Yeah. It's like Anish is playing for a draw. He's like, I could move my pawns up and move my king up and win, or I can trade all the pawns and move my king back. So he figured out what he was going to do. Yeah, I'm guessing if Carlson was on Chess 24 helping the commentary now, he wouldn't be happy with h4, king e2. That's right, king e2, king f2. Very good triangulation there, Geary. Good job. Not king f2 right away, but king e2. There you go. Terrible. Playing for the draw. Oh, you're getting the new microphone out.
Yeah.
We should change microphones between games.
Yeah, I don't know how. I have to look at it.
Ooh, look at that quad cat. Look at that. It's all pretty. Now, I know that microphone's pretty, but it's not as pretty as... Oh, wait, I'm on stream. I can't say that. Which movie was I quoting that I couldn't quote? Do you know? Now, I know I'm pretty, but I'm not as pretty as... And then I can't.
Oh, you know what? We need to get a boom arm for it.
Boom!
But,
Here, can I drop that? I want to drop the mic.
But, it can be used before we get one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to do.
We have to get one? What if we don't?
I think it would be better to get one.
All right.
From all the reviews I read, it said I think there's some, it picks up some unwanted noises and so.
All right.
We can try it.
All right. True Romance, that is correct. Man, True Romance is a great movie. The guy who directed True Romance, I think he jumped off a bridge a couple of years ago. What was that guy's name? His brother's famous too.
Scott. Ridley Scott is the.
Ridley Scott. Yeah, and who's the famous brother?
Well, they're both famous, but Ridley's still alive.
Who's the other one?
I forgot his first
Tony
name.
Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he jumped off a bridge. Yeah, Tony Scott. Isn't Ridley her character's name in Alien? You know, what's her name? What's her name? Who's the woman in Alien?
I never saw it.
Doesn't matter.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, isn't she? Oh, Ripley. I don't believe it. She's Ripley, not Ridley? Yeah, Ripley. I don't believe it because, Ripley's not believing it. Tony Scott's suicide. No. Come on, Tony Scott. You did True Romance. Don't commit suicide. King F4. Nepo's playing for the win. I mean, it's a dead draw because I have a king and your king sucks. Pawns are all weak. Passed pawn, Papa John's. Yeah, which one's Ed Norton the skinhead? American History X? Yeah. I don't know if that was Tony Scott, but that was American History X.
Oh. McJerkle sent us a postcard. Sent you a postcard.
Who did?
McJerkle.
Yay. Here, let me see. If I show it on the stream, I'll get banned.
Yeah, you can't show.
No, I meant that part.
Side of it.
Yeah, I don't mean that side.
All right, just be careful.
Yeah, I got this postcard from somebody.
McJerkle.
McJerkle.
Don't say his real name.
Why not? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah.
Thank you,
Blah, blah,
McJerkle.
blah, 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 etc., mainly, etc., blah, 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 McJerkle. Yay. All right, what does that say? Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
okay.
Never do that.
You have a postcard.
What?
It's making me nervous.
You get nervous about?
You can't turn it around.
Come on. You get nervous about nothing. 100 centidues, correct. Thanks, McJerkle. You're the best. Did you see American History X?
No.
All right. Now, the best Ed Norton movie, if that's possible, which it's not, is Primal Fear. I have spoken. Cy Bradbury. 200 centidues. Thank you for the description, too. Did you see Primal Fear?
Mm-mm.
Terrible. Really? With Ed Norton?
No.
Yeah, Primal Fear is great. I can't tell you if Fight Club is good or not because we're not allowed to talk about it. All right, the game's going to end in a draw soon. All right. And it's the most drawn of positions. Every move draws for both sides, etc. Rounders isn't as good a movie as Primal Fear. It's just more fun to watch. The Pomniachi playing for the win because of the time situation. The problem is every move is a draw. That is a problem. I have seen Tropic Thunder. $677 viewers. Did they draw yet? Not yet. Geary's trying to lose, but he can't do it. He's trying. Geary had big advantage, then it was a dead draw. Now he's fighting for a draw. And a sandwich. Do I think it's still a draw? It's a dead draw. He's trying to lose, but he can't. It's too drawn. Wow, Geary played this ending really badly. I mean, it's a draw, just he plays bad. Yay, it's a microphone. What happened? 200 senators. You mixed up Tony K. What? Is that like Danny K? Magnus already wondered. That's right. Well, good. Well said. Yeah, Ian Rogers is a nice guy. He spelled Rogers wrong, but still a nice guy. It's the Philidor position. Now you can learn how to draw the Philidor position. You do Vishwa nothing. He'll play Rook B8. And then they'll repeat. King F3, King E4, and he'll move his king back from F3 and E4. Oh, they just agreed to a draw. All right. So the game was a draw. Geary had a big advantage, was close to winning, and then he failed miserably. So 2 draws and a win for Jan. Jan needs to win. Jan needs to draw or win the next game, and the match is over. Geary needs to win the next game with black to force Blitz playoff. And the game will probably start in about 10 minutes-ish, and so on. You want to ban this guy now?
Which one?
Which one? The one you already timed out, now he's yelling at me. I didn't do anything.
I timed you out.
Yeah, you could ban him if you want. Mainly for his punctuation and spelling. Yeah. What? All right, that's funny. Yeah. Timing out for 600 seconds at a time is funnier than banning him. So,
I
yeah.
haven't talked to him again.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, probably just ban him. Then you don't have to talk to him anymore. There's no reason not to ban him. Now you're just wasting your time.
Okay.
I know, but why are you wasting your time? You're going to ban him anyway. Can I get banned too? Sure. You're banned. Just have to ask. Anybody else want to be banned? I haven't banned anybody in like 2-3 weeks. I'm itching to ban. Anyone? Just have to ask. Can you teach us some tactics while we wait? I'm going to go to the bathroom while we wait, and Karen's going to take over.
I am.
Can I have a timeout? Timed out.
Oh, come on.
Let's see. Can I have mod? Can I have mod? I mean, you're looking for a date? What do you want? I just want a timeout. No problem. Let's see. Timed out. Let's see. Can you ban me, please? Banned. All right. Anybody else? I like banning people. It's too bad the kangaroo's not here. He'd be having so much fun. Yeah. Which NBA team am I supporting? That's a ban. Are you ready to start streaming?
Yeah. But
Karen's pretty mad. She's got like a knife out. Yeah.
I'm going to unban one of those, right?
Yeah, but they asked me to ban them.
Yeah, but,
What?
you know.
Oh, they want me to unban Dr. Disrespect. Damn. I'll try. All right, make sure you donate and sub and give bits a lot while Karen's here.
All right. Well, I'm not going to ban some people. You can't unban them just when they're joking around. All right. I might I think I'm going to unban some people while he's gone. What?
Somebody donated.
Oh, yeah, I heard a noise. Let me see what happened. Hi, Cy Bradbury. Thank you for the cheer. I'm going to look real quick and see who just got banned. I don't like to ban people. You know, because sometimes people just joke around and say ban me, and they don't really mean that they want to be banned. But, yeah, give me a second. I will unban you. It just creates more work for me to ban people unnecessarily. However, Mrs. K.A. Douche, aptly named, you need to fit in better or you shall be banned. And once I ban you, you're banned, which is, maybe not true. People beg their way back in, but, I don't like to be bothered. I'm trying to do some work here. All right, let me see what happened here. Who got banned that didn't need to be banned? I'm looking in the mod view for a second. Oh, here comes Ben.
Yeah, it's a microphone.
You give me just a second.
All right, you got a second. You banning people?
No, I'm going to look and make sure that, people joke around and say, oh, ban me. They don't really want to be banned. You can't ban those people.
I can't.
No.
So if somebody behaves really badly, then says ban me, I can't ban them.
Well, if they behave badly.
If somebody says ban me, I want to help out the people who are watching.
Let me look real quick.
Seems like they want to get banned.
Okay, now this guy's got to be unbanned. Welcome back, Habib. All right, let me just look real quick.
God, what did you do to my stream?
I've got the mod view up.
Oh, I'm getting dizzy looking at the mod view.
Paco El Taco is probably already back, so I won't worry about him. That guy got banned.
Make sure you unban the Jailer Man and Sailor Sam.
Yeah.
Banned.
Okay. I think everybody's back in that needs to be back in. All right. Let me shut this view. Sorry, I know that was boring. I think...
What did the county judge hold?
What?
What did the county judge hold?
County judge.
What did he hold?
What did he hold?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
A grudge.
Oh, yeah.
County judge who held a grudge. Banned on the run. Ooh, tickle.
Okay, I'm going to let Ben sit back down.
Tickle.
Do not tickle me.
Who am I going to tickle? I don't see anybody else here.
All right, so got everybody back in. Everybody behave, etc. I'm going to...
Mainly, etc.
All right.
Did you fix my, horrible,
The what?
mod view? God, the mod views are the worst.
I got rid of the mod view's great. I love mod views. You can see what else going on.
Rufus and Doofus. Banned on the run. We had a great time in Michigan. What time did you leave in the end? We left here Friday morning, and we came back. We drove Monday morning to Monday night. All right. This is the last game. They haven't started yet. Nepomniachtchi and Geary. Let's see. You're timed out. And so forth. Now, who gave money when I was gone? Let's see. Recent events. 200 bits from Cy Bradbury. Cheer Karen. Yay. Man, I made $2 going to the bathroom. Made me holla. Where'd you go in Michigan? We went to Ann Arbor, and I think that was it. Did we ever leave the city limits of Ann Arbor? No. Ann Arbor, that was it. Let's see. Ace Deuce. The tournament's not over. We did go to Blue Nile. We're waiting for this game to start. This is game 4. Geary is down 2-1. Also, Nepo's up 2-1. It's hard to understand. I can't do a bathroom stream because then I would get sued by Dr. Disrespect. So I can't do it. I don't want to get in trouble. He has like a trademark on that. Sued and banned. How do you pronounce the last of Jan? well, Nepomniachtchi or Nepomniachtchi. Depends if you want to pronounce it correctly or not. Let's see. The cheating World Open. I mean, the World Open. Checking my emails because they're really exciting, except for one thing. Aha, this email is important. Yeah, Mark's going to drop off the photo he made at 5 o'clock today to my mom.
Okay.
He said things are going better there, so he's not going to do anything yet.
All right, good.
Yeah. Let's see. Papa John's. Oh, every email's worse than the last one. I got an email from Agnes. Did you like the way I played today? Signed GOAT. Damn. I can't believe Agnes sent me that. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. I subbed. Didn't unban me. 100 centidues. Time for a train. It's always time for a train. Yeah, the people like to misbehave and then say, I got banned. Wah. And then they cry like a grandmaster.
Well, I got banned.
See, there you go. But you don't cry about it.
I didn't do it. Yeah, I do. I complain about it all the time.
Nah, not like those guys do.
I didn't like that I got banned.
No.
I mean,
100 centidues. 100 centidues. I'm not sure if it's time for another train, but we can have one. What are they doing while they wait to play? They're talking to their coaches and doing opening preparation. That's what they're doing. All right, they started. Geary's like, Mr. Benjamin Bach, what do I do to win against Nepo when I have black? They're doing opening prep. E4. How is Geary going to play for a win? The answer, Sicilian. Shouldn't 100 bits equal $1.57? It should. He played the Philidor. What is he, Dubov? Confusing the audience. The bad move order Philidor, too. Yeah, not the good move order. All right. There. Queen D3, always retreat. All right, so Philidor is a bad opening, but, sometimes Dubov plays it. And white is clearly slightly better. Taking Jan out of his deep opening preparation, trying to get a weird position, and he has to win the game. Geary in a must-win situation, not what he was hoping for. Geary and must-win, that doesn't go well together. COVID. I guess I'll order food now. You want anything, or you still never want anything ever?
yeah, I'll get some basil.
Now you're talking. If I knew how to order food, I would do it. Hey, could somebody donate like $35 now? Thanks. I mean, I hope like 2 people don't do it by accident. That would be overkill. Da-da-da-da. Banned. Everybody's banned. This is good commentary. I just order food. Can't beat that. Review order. All right, A3. I'm a grandmaster. I can't be looking at moves like that. Wow, A3. Man, he's going to be on Twitter any second about his mouse slip. Oh, snap. I mean, A3 he did on purpose. So Nepomniachtchi's playing really boring and solid, which is not his style. And Geary's trying to get a weird, unusual position to confuse his opponent, which also is not his style. Geary playing for a win and Nepo playing for a draw. I mean, they're going to play like 1200 straight. They don't know how to do that. Cy Bradbury gifted a sub. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, man, that's a good order. A pod pock with fried tofu and spicy spring rolls. I've never heard of spicy spring rolls, but I like it. Get those spring rolls spicy. I never heard of it, but I like it. Yeah. So Pam's trying to donate money with PayPal, but she correctly noted PayPal's being PayPal today. Yeah, that's correct. Let's see. No, I don't want to order it here. I want to order it to my house. Is that right? To the house? That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game's going to be over in 20 minutes. The match is over.
Yeah, we can work on the microphone later.
We can work on it now. It doesn't. We can just sit in the front. I don't care. What's going to happen to it?
Well, I mean, okay. I don't know.
It'll be an hour before it's
I
there.
don't know what you have to do in OBS to get the new microphone hooked up. You just have to.
No, we'll put the microphone. I'll tell OBS to find it. Yeah, it won't take long.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll come back.
Let's see.
Hey, just so you know,
Uh-oh.
tap the top, it meets it.
Right. I heard about that.
And then there's the switch here.
No, that's Twitch, not Switch.
Okay, where is this? See on the back? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Right here, in case you need to adjust the volume.
Let's show them the new microphone.
Well, it won't look pretty and lit up until you plug it in.
It won't look, well, but they'll see. Oh, God, I made me move slightly. Here's the new mic. We got a couple of them, right? It's the HyperX Your Mother or something. And then it lights up when you plug it in. That's all we care about. So you got to keep pushing this, confusing the audience and this. All right.
No, just plug it in.
Well, I'm streaming now. I can't.
Oh, I thought you said you were doing it right now.
No.
Oh, that's
I want to show it to them.
Oh.
That's all. Yay.
Okay.
I can't do it during this stream. That would take,
That's why I was-
it takes like 30 seconds. If you guys didn't hear me for 30 seconds, you guys would be revolting. Oh, they're already revolting. Yeah.
I thought I was confused.
It matches my shirt. That's correct. All right. What a fancy, a pro gamer. Yeah. I hear a weird sound from that mic, and the mic's not even connected. That's pretty good. Yeah. Neon Sprite, because I can, donated a lot of centidues. And when I say a lot, it wasn't a lot. Let's see. Okay. You didn't pay, right, for the cleaning?
No.
All right. I'll do that when we're done. All right. So what happened here? Castles, ASIC. Oh, Nepo's playing so boring because he has to draw and win the match. So he's right. Man, how's Nepo going to lose this? So Bishop E5 is not a good move, but Geary's like, come on, Nepo, try to beat me so that, he can win. If Nachi just trades all the pieces off and it's all zeros, that's no good. So he's like, all right, I'll give you the advantage as long as I can have a winning chance. Yeah. So Black's position's very passive, but Geary's hoping that Nepomniachtchi goes crazy, overextend and attack. He's not doing that. He's playing really solid and boring. So Geary's trying, but he's failing miserably. The lesson is...
Never try.
That's right. That's such a weird situation. Geary's playing for win with Black, and Jan is playing for a draw with White. What world is this? Now, what do you think of Anisha's indolence? What would you say it is?
Inefficacious.
That's correct. Yeah. You do say that a lot. If Karen talked to Yasser, it would be the nicest conversation in the history of speech. Have you had conversations with Yasser? Mm-hmm. So there you go. Karen always claims incorrectly that nobody knows her name. She's like, Yasser doesn't know my name, and Magnus doesn't, and Fabi doesn't.
No. Yasser knew my name, but then one time I hadn't seen him in a while, and I could tell he was struggling to remember. No, he blanked out. He did.
Does Fabi know your name?
Maybe.
But Topolov?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
No. He would know who I am, I think.
He'd remember you? Cool.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Man, look at Nepo playing for a draw. I never in all my years. He's like, what's the most boring move I can find? So this is the greatest knight in all of Christendom, and I'm an atheist. That's how good the knight is. And he trades it to get the position more equal. Geary style. Geary's taking notes. Right, giving up the greatest knight ever and like making his pawn weak, but he wants a draw, so he's got to do it. Yeah, F3. I mean, when I say he has to do it, it's stupid to do it, but got to play for a draw. So White is clearly slightly better. White has two bishops and more space. But obviously, Nepomniachtchi would have sacked like 20 pieces by now if this was a normal game. But he knows that if he draws, he wins the match. Does Karen know her name? Probably. Anna kept calling Ginger GM Yasser earlier. Well, that's because they look so much alike. Okay, A5 by Geary. Good. Basically, white just chills this game and says, you can't beat me, I'm too solid. And black's like, yeah. Normally, white would be pressing here, trying to play B4 and B5 and C5 and F4. But now he's not going to do anything. He's going to play King H1, Queen F2, A4, Rook D1, King G1, King H1, and be like, yeah, I guess it's a draw. Oh, well. So somehow Geary has to, I don't know what Geary has to do. F5 is always bad. H5 is always bad. D5 always bad. B5 is always bad. I mean, I don't know. Like, if this was a normal game, white would be slowly trying to win, and black would be defending the draw, but that's not going to be the case this game. So Nepomniachtchi is going to do nothing, and then Geary's going to either go crazy and lose, or he's going to egg Nepomniachtchi into doing something really good and then overextend him. Man, it's hard for Geary to play for a win, especially with black. He's slightly worse. Yeah, Karen liked Pawn Sacrifice more than I did, but I had the wrong audience. Like, Karen and I saw it separately. The audience I was in, I was like the 50th best player. We saw it in St. Louis, and like Kasparov came and Aronian, and those were the weak players in the audience. So they didn't like some of the story because they knew that it was all made up. It's a movie, so who cares if it's made up? You know who was really good was the guy who played Lombardi, because I always liked that guy. The actor. Who, I don't know his name, but he's really good. Who's the actor who played Bill Lombardi? Come on, you guys know. Somebody in the chat. That guy's a great actor. I like him. The other problem is, now, Tobey Maguire didn't do anything wrong in his life, but that was not the right casting for Spider-Man. So since he's been in Spider-Man, I'm like, that's, why is he Spider-Man? So then I've been mad at, he didn't do anything wrong, he got a lot of money, and he did, Yeah, Peter Sarsgaard, he's a good actor, yeah. Yeah, he was good. Yeah. Can anybody tell me why I got timed out? Rufus and Doofus 001. Ask Karen and Trying to Learn. Who timed him out?
Trying to learn.
Well, you guys Trying to Learn. Trying to Learn has an itchy trigger finger, so that's one of the reasons. As does Kangaroo. Karen likes to unban people. Trying to Learn likes to ban them, so we have a good thing going here. Yeah. Toby was okay as Bobby Fischer. He was all right. I think Tobey Maguire is about 6 inches shorter than Fischer was in real life. You know who was good, and he's also a good actor, is the guy who played Spassky. He's in a lot of movies, but he was in the remake of The Manchurian Candidate. What's his name? Liv Schreiber. You know who I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah, he's a good actor also. Yeah, or I guess it's Liev, but
Is he Miley's husband?
Who?
Or no, I have the wrong guy.
Who? Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
I hope not. If he's Miley Cyrus's husband, now I'm mad.
I probably have the wrong
He's
guy.
like probably 50 years old and she's like 25,
That's
so probably not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy.
No, Liev Schreiber is good. Did you see Manchurian Candidate or the remake?
No.
Oh, well. Yeah, you can't remake a movie or my mom gets really mad. See, I know people who are older than me, if that's possible, and those people hate all remakes. You can't remake a movie or they They're going to destroy the earth, as far as I recall. So the Manchurian Candidate remake was fine, but obviously the original's better, so they get furious. All right. Man, the original, Lawrence Harvey's in the original. Angela Lansbury, she's great. Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, still great. All right, so Nepomniachtchi's doing nothing. Good. Perfect. And then, he put his knight here. He's like, could you play b4 so you can weaken some? And that's the right move, so he played it. All right. So white is slightly better. Black has no chances to win. Now, obviously, with the move queen g6, Geary's saying, I'm going to play f5 at some point, which probably makes his position worse. But, because, it opens up this to his king. He can't really play it too soon, but if he plays it eventually, maybe he can get a position that has some winning chances. The thing is, let's say Geary never plays f5, ever. What's his winning plan? To move back and forth and hope that Nepomniachtchi gets, forfeited, So this position is a must-win game for Black, and Geary's just playing solid and boring. So, no winning chances. Terrible. He's trying, and he's failing miserably. The lesson is never try. What's the best film remake? Probably, well, it's not probably, because I don't know. Okay, Ocean's 11 remake is good. Cape Fear remake is good. Man, it's hard to make a good remake. Remakes suck. God damn. I know every movie ever made, all the remakes suck, so I can't give a good answer. Let's see, what do you guys think? Scarface? Scarface is good. I didn't see the original The Departed. If that's, then that's good. Italian Job was all right. True Grit remake was okay. I agree. Yeah. Total Recall? What? That doesn't sound like any of those movies could be good. Casino Royale. Have you seen Dr. Strangelove? Obviously. You can't just name random movies that aren't remakes and say that they're good remakes. You got to name movies that are remakes, not just random movies. Yeah. Invasion of the Body Snatchers was a good remake. I agree. That was good. Yeah. Donald Sutherland. That was good. All right, he retreated. All right, so Geary has less time, a worse position, no prospects. White has the two bishops. White has the what else. Doesn't look good for Geary. The only thing in Geary's favor is he won the match yesterday. So they're going to play a third match tomorrow. I'm leaving. Your mods disappointed me by... Oh, Rufus and Doofus. How could my mods disappoint you? Terrible. Your name is Rufus and Doofus. You can't leave. There's no other stream that would accept you. Rufus and Doofus. Little Shop of Horrors is a great remake. I mean, great. Thomas Crown Affair, they left out the best scene in the remake. So I'm going to say no. The best scene in the Thomas Crown Affair is when they're playing chess and like sort of having sex at the same time. Complicated. And then in the remake, they took that scene out because that was the best scene in the movie. So like, take that scene out. Frankly, terrible. Does 12 Monkeys count as a remake? I don't know, does it? King Kong remake is ridiculous. Horrible. Terrible. Shawshank Redemption, starring Schwarzenegger. That's funny. That would be good. All right, so Jan's playing the best move. C5 is correct. And Black's position's no good, but, he's got a passed pawn. I don't know, something. Terrible. Hey, look at this bishop. That's awesome. That bishop's good. This rook is good. King is safe. Pieces are whack. Yeah, the musical Planet of the Apes on The Simpsons was great. Yeah, that was great. I didn't see Queen of Cotway, but I'm guessing Karen did. Gotta guess something.
Yeah, I liked it.
You gave it a B plus or an A minus.
B plus.
See? I knew she would give it some. I didn't see it. Is Blue Brothers 2000 a remake? I don't know if it might be a sequel. I mean, Blues Brothers 2000 had like Jim Belushi, right? Oh God, I just ate. Jesus. Casino was a good Goodfellas remake. Yeah, that's almost funny. Not even sure which movie was made first. Yeah, I don't know which movie I like better, Goodfellas or Casino, because I give them both an A. So they're just like tied for first. All right, let's see if Karen knows for $1 trillion. Now it's an opinion question, but I'm still right. Ready? Who gave the best performance in Casino? It's for $1 trillion, so give the right answer.
Well, I only saw the very beginning, and unfortunately I did not get to see the end. But I'm going to say Sharon Stone.
That is correct.
Impressed me.
Yeah, now we get $1 trillion. Yeah, Sharon Stone was the best.
Without
That's right.
even seeing the whole movie.
She was great. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that was definitely Sharon Stone. Yeah, and Pesci was okay, and De Niro's okay, and who's that guy? James Woods was okay.
And I love De Niro, but
Yeah.
Sharon Stone was doing really well.
Yeah, Sharon Stone showed everybody. Yeah,
Not just a pretty face.
yeah. The people on the internet, they're like Pesci and De Niro. Ridiculous answers. Yeah. Don Rickles, didn't seem too much like Don Rickles, but yeah. Yeah, Casino's great. That's right, trying to learn. That was that Family Guy? Yeah, on Family Guy, they're watching a Joe Pesci movie, and Peter's like, in the 1990s, people thought this was a tough guy. He's like 2 feet tall. So yeah, he got him good there. That was good. Yeah, that was Basic Instinct, not Casino. What was Basic Instinct, not Casino? What? Goodfellas is better than Casino? Maybe. They're both great. Yeah. This guy's confusing Basic Instinct with Casino because he didn't see the movies. All right, let's see. Hateful Eight, Django, Once Upon a Time. Those are movies. Yeah. Goodfellas is not far better than Casino because nothing's far better than Casino. That is true. Ray Liotta is terrible. That is true. He wasn't bad in Goodfellas. He's just terrible in general. He was acceptable in Casino. That's true. Yeah, no, there was nobody who was such a bad actor as Ray Liotta in Casino. So that is, yeah. Now, let me tell you one thing about Casino that's different than other Scorsese movies is in most Scorsese movies, Joe Pesci kills the same guy, Frank something, he died recently. But in Casino, that guy killed Joe Pesci. He got his revenge. Remember the guy who said, get your shine box in Goodfellas? And then they stabbed him and shot him, but he was still alive, and they shot him some more, stabbed him some more. They beat him to death and put him in the trunk, but he wasn't dead. Then they had to stab him and shoot him some more. Then they buried him, then they had to bury him again. Anyway, that guy, Frank Vincent, he kills Joe Pesci in Casino. That's why they don't like Casino as much, because Joe Pesci's killed. Now, Joe Pesci's really killed in Goodfellas. But he's killed the right way. Yeah. Right before Joe Pesci is killed in Goodfellas, like 1 second before, he thinks he's becoming a made man. He walks into the room and there's nobody in the room. So he realizes they're just going to kill me. That's why there's nobody there. And he says, oh, and then they shoot him in the back of the head. He couldn't even finish the oh no. Terrible. All right, let's see. Tarantino, Vincent. Yeah, no, Casino's great. See, here's why they like Goodfellas, but they won't admit it. Can I tell them why? Yeah. I'm going to tell them why. They like when Joe Pesci shoots Spider like 700 times. They like that scene. He just keeps shooting him. You watched, oh, you didn't watch that movie. Or you didn't watch The Sopranos.
No.
And you didn't watch the movie they made about, who's the poker player? Stu Unger. So you guys know the movie about Stu Unger? The Spider, who's, the guy from Sopranos, that's who plays Stu Unger. Yeah, you guys, that was a good scene when he kills Spider, I have to admit. Yeah. All right, you're banned. All right. Hateful Eight reminds me of the last 8 marriages. Your last 8, what about your first 8 marriages? Irishman is not better than Casino. Irishman is just like a rehash of all of his movies. Okay, Irishman's like a B. All right, Bishop. Now, what did he do? Are they still playing chess? Knight E5, Bishop D5. Man, how's Black supposed to win this game ever? Put it in H. Damn. This looks like Geary's white against Nepo. Geary can just never win this position. There's never going to be a winning chance ever. Never. There's 0% winning chances. And Nepomniachtchi has more time. So Nepomniachtchi is going to win the match today. He's either going to draw or win this game. And then we're going to see tomorrow at 10 a.m. Scarface was good. Irishman's all right. It's just like every other movie. Now, yeah, Michael Imperioli, who was also a cop very briefly on Law and Order. I didn't think he was a good cop on Law and Order.
Which one?
The guy that we keep talking about. Oh, which cop? Mm-hmm. He was like a young Italian, shorter cop. He was only on like 10 or 20 episodes. He wasn't a cop very long. Yeah. Well, you never saw Sopranos. You don't remember him in Goodfellas. Did you see Goodfellas?
Yeah, long time.
Okay, in Goodfellas, they're playing poker in the basement, and there's a kid named Spider, and he's like getting them drinks. He's like, works for them. And he didn't get Joe Pesci a drink. So Joe Pesci shot him in the foot, and then he went to the hospital and came back, another poker game, and he had like a thing on his foot. And Joe Pesci was making fun of him again. So he told Joe Pesci to go F himself. And they were like, wow, because Joe Pesci kills everybody. So then Joe Pesci shot him like 800 times and killed him. And he's like, you have to dig the hole. I'll dig the hole, so what? Yeah. So he gets killed. He gets shot a lot by Joe Pesci in that movie. Then he's killed in Sopranos. Then in Law and Order, he's not so good. And then he's Stu Unger. I don't think he was a good Stu Unger either. Yeah. That is a good scene. I agree. I'm not sure why you guys don't like Casino. What's wrong with you? I understand Goodfellas is great. I'm not arguing, but Casino's great. What's wrong with Casino? Terrible. Yeah, Casino's great. You guys got to watch Casino again. I mean, you can't. I understand Goodfellas is great, but so is Casino. Yeah, I mean, Sharon Stone's great in Casino. Greatest casting ever. James Woods is good at the part he has to play. He did a good job playing that part. Man, they beat him up good. Casino's not way better than Goodfellas. They're both just great. Neither one's way better. Yeah. All right. So has this game been drawn yet? Okay, so G5. He wins a pawn. White's up a pawn for nothing. Oh, that's a blunder. Now rook takes C7. Wins out of hand. Because if black... Okay, that's also good. But if he had done this, then the problem is, this is the problem. Yeah, this is just winning for white. Yeah. The engine says +5 for white. Nepo doesn't care if he wins or draws, just wants to win the match. He can't lose. There's 0 losing chances. Centipede subscribed. Hooray. Yeah. Why is it green? Did he move? Oh, I have to click refresh because I did something. Takes with a bishop. He doesn't want to trade rooks. He wants to move his bishop out of the way and do that. So white's probably winning here, but he doesn't want to blunder and lose. So he's trying to find a way where it's just like an immediate draw, like moving his king back here. Moving his king here, probably black has to perpetual. Otherwise, yeah. So that's very reasonable. I mean, black just has no winning chances. Is M. Perez putting the movies in the wrong order on purpose? Is that what he's doing? Yeah, Godfather 1 and 2 are both equally good. They're both A+. Yeah. A+. No Ray Liotta is good. I agree. But you don't want to say anything bad about Goodfellas, because if you do, I mean, think of the kids. Think of Karen. So don't do that. Michelle Pfeiffer was great in Scarface, I thought. Go Michelle Pfeiffer. She just sat there and did nothing. That was great. Yeah, Don Rickles didn't do his comedy in Casino. That wasn't, yeah. Pam says Casino's the best movie ever made. I don't know about that. Godfather's pretty good. Godfather 3 was okay, but Godfather 3 is like a B. I mean, Godfather 1 and 2 are A+, at least. The Godfather doesn't insist upon itself. Now, for $1 trillion, which cartoon character said they didn't like The Godfather because it insists upon itself?
I'm not sure.
Peter Griffin. And also, he never watched the whole movie. He never got to the end because he couldn't take it. Yeah. Pickle Rick. Godfather 3 has one good line. Otherwise, it's all right. Donnie Darko's a weird movie. I don't dislike that. David RV00. All right, Geary's like, I can't play for a win. I'm down a pawn and worse. But I have to win. So Geary's down a pawn, is probably losing, and is down 6 minutes on the clock, or 7 minutes, and has a perpetual because his opponent's letting him draw, but he has to win to tie the matchup. Man, tough being Geary. Mystic River is very good. Mystic River is better than Mystic Pizza, which isn't saying much. Devil's Advocate. I think I saw that. I don't know if I liked it because I can't remember seeing it. So. After Rook A8, Bishop E5 would have won. I think so. Yeah, because we're threatening Rook here, and Bishop here stops it and checks and wins the knight. So yeah. Bishop E5 and then some. Bishop E5 should be winning here. Bishop G3 is good. This isn't a good move, but Geary has to win, so, Scorsese rankings. Karen will be happy to hear this. You ready, Karen? Mm-hmm. Raging Bull 1. This is the guy's rankings on Scorsese movies.
Oh, okay.
Taxi Driver 2. Goodfellas 3. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Karen likes that. Mm-hmm. Mean Streets. King of Comedy. Karen likes that. The Departed, Casino, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, you put Casino way too far down. You put Mean Streets too far up. Yeah, you made some errors. Mm-hmm. Not many, but some. You only made like 1 or 2 errors. That was pretty good. Wolf of Wall Street at the bottom? Yeah, I agree. That's the worst movie of the ones that he mentioned, yeah. You put it on the list. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Wolf of Wall Street is okay. It's not as good as any of those other movies. Yeah. Gangs of New York is Scorsese? I mean, it could be. I just didn't know that. I guess that, well, I don't know. It looks like a Scorsese movie. Taxi Driver is pretty good. Wolf of Wall Street's better than Departed? Yeah, I don't agree with that. Wolf of Wall Street's all right. The new Groundhog Day is the same as the old one. Very good. Wait, can't he claim a draw now? Yeah, rook here is a draw. That's the same position 3 times. If he plays rook d7, the game's over. The position occurred 3 times. The first time he played here, the second time he played here. Yeah, definitely it's the same position. Let's see, bishop. So we got, oh, maybe it's not 3 times. Damn. We have rook c2 check, king f1. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, because the king went to f1 here. So this is 1. Oh, it's just 2 because he checked, and the king was on g1. Okay, and they agreed to a draw. Yeah, the game was just agreed drawn. Yeah, because, I mean, White could win if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. Yeah. All right, so the game was drawn. The match is over. Nepos won the match, 2.5, 1.5. Geary won the match yesterday, 3-1. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the Geary, just the one match, Geary-Nepo. Magnus won his match 2.5 half. Yesterday he won 2.5, 1.5. He's in the finals, and he plays whoever wins tomorrow. I'll be back tonight streaming 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I don't know. Check Twitter, check Discord, check etc. Where's Karen? She's on the phone somewhere. I don't know. Something. Is my food there yet? Your order's out for delivery. And then it says good, good, with a picture of the roach. Great. Good timing. All right. And Karen's on the phone and the etc. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys tonight in about 7 hours, 8 hours. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Say bye, Karen. Yeah, whenever you're on the phone, they can hear everything you're saying. So just, I'm just letting you know. Yeah. If you forgot, that's all. Mm-hmm. Yeah.